Hey.
Welcome back.
What was that?
It's Maria and Lindsay and special guest Lee
Yes.
here to talk Sinners.
You know,
Number 4 movie in the world for 2025.
put my
Number
2
four.
cents in this.
Number 4, huh?
Number 4 in the world for the year.
Wow.
And it just came out 3 weeks ago.
Right. That's amazing.
The money that man is making. I'm
Yeah.
talking about, my God, if we want to talk about generational wealth,
He's
we
building.
locked it in.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Yeah.
Because we all know about the deal, right?
Oh, that deal. He got a better deal than Master P.
Well, see, deal's good, right? Deal's good. He's not the only person to have ever gotten this deal, but it's still a really great deal. And it's not something that everybody gets. You really got to be proven, right?
Mhm.
For the people that don't know the deal, can you
I'm getting to that.
Okay.
So typically for a movie to be considered profitable, it needs to make 3 times its budget. And the budget for this was $90 million, right? And usually directors and whoever might not get paid until after the movie turns a profit, right? So in this case, Ryan negotiated, hey, I get full final control, creative control. I'm gonna start getting paid when the movie opens, not after we make a profit. And then in 25 years, all rights revert back to me. Because it's a movie about Black ownership.
Yeah. Question. Maria, are you still on Facebook?
Yes.
I can't find you.
Oh, I changed my name.
Oh, okay. What you change it to?
Why would you say that so innocent, though? Like, you was like, yes? Like,
I was like, why?
Because I'm trying to tag you. What did you change it to?
don't say my OnlyFans. Like, what the fuck?
Ariam Leopard.
Who?
Maria backwards and then Leopard.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Ariam Leopard. That's dope. Okay. All right. That's fine.
So yes, I
Okay, gotcha. All right.
was trying to keep out nosy strangers, but never mind now.
Oh, I'm sorry.
She exposed.
Right.
Let those DMs get to popping.
Apparently.
Hey, you know, you look good in those glasses.
Turn them all off. DMs closed.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So yes, we are here to spoil the entire hell out of Sinners. If you haven't seen it already, you have been warned that this is a spoiler review. So spoiler.
Mm-hmm.
It's been out for a long time now. If we're spoiling y'all, 100% y'all are either racist or y'all don't go to the movies.
Dang, how come they can't
That's
just
wide? That's a wide berth.
Right.
There's so much room.
You'll stay right there. Because it's been in the movies for since April 18th.
3 weeks. I think 3 or 4 weeks.
3 or 4 weeks now.
Yeah.
Folks be having to do stuff.
So again, either you are racist and say, I'm not watching this movie, or you just don't go to the show.
You could be a new parent.
You know,
Again, I'm a new parent. I know what it is. I paid a babysitter to make sure that I went to go see this movie.
No, I mean like 1 month old.
Yeah, what about that?
And then again, you just don't go to the movie. I'm not downplaying you if you don't go to the movies, but I am downplaying you if you're a racist. Is what it is.
Just in case.
Yeah, let's put that out there. Like, if you got a baby who is 1 month, I get it. I've been there, done that. And I understand. But if you don't have any of those problems, you just didn't want to see a black man's movie.
Dang. The black man's movie. All right. So where are we going to start first, guys?
So when did y'all see it?
I just saw it Tuesday.
Okay.
I seen it. It came out April 18th. So I went the week after.
Mm. Did you see IMAX either?
No.
No. Okay.
I didn't see it in IMAX. No, I went to War Parkway.
Maria doesn't know what War Parkway is.
If you're from the town, War Parkway has an AMC there. Their seats are really dope, and they'll bring food right out to you. So
nice. Yeah. I went to see it. I think this is like the first movie I saw in theaters, probably since The Blackening came out, which was a while ago.
You went to see The Blackening in movie theaters?
Well, yeah, my friend asked me to go, and I was interested in it because it was because I had seen the skit that it was based on years ago.
Okay.
And when I saw the trailer came out, it was the same kind of situation where we were talking about that documentary earlier, a little off camera, where I was like, this is the same thing that I saw before. And I actually tweeted about it. I was like, this looks the very same. And like the guy who directed it, he was like, it is the same people. I was like, okay, good. Because I was like, we're not taking Black content again and saying, but yeah, we saw it in the theater. Yeah, so this is the first movie.
You 100% thorough watching The Blackening in theater.
It was funny. I enjoyed it.
I hated
that
movie. I hated that movie. God,
really? You hated it?
It was terrible.
The Blackening?
It was terrible.
It was okay. It was okay.
It can't be humor, and that's exactly what I expected, and I got exactly that.
Yeah, I liked it. I just didn't go to the theaters to watch it.
Yeah, me either. But
I like Dwayne Perkins' work, and I want to support him too. So
yeah, and that's cool. Now, did you see it in IMAX?
Yes. So I saw it in IMAX at the regular theater, and then I went to the Mall of Georgia. I don't know if we ever went to the Mall of Georgia, Lindsay, when you were out here.
We did. That's when we had.
Oh yes, we did.
Yes.
That's when we got followed around in Dillard's.
Yeah, we got racially profiled. How fun and exciting.
You got racially profiled?
Yeah.
Both of us, while our white roommate was left alone.
Yeah.
You know what? See, and this is why I keep telling people, Georgia is a slavery state. Y'all got to keep it. I don't give a fuck how much they call it the Black Mecca in Atlanta. Georgia is a slavery state. Because how in the fuck did y'all get racially profiled?
Yeah. It wasn't the first time I've been racially profiled either.
That's wild as fuck. Like,
yeah. But the Mall of Georgia is not in Atlanta, so that may have been part of it too. So
it's just Georgia, period. It's like,
yeah.
And no downplay to y'all when I say this. You two look like you are not gonna steal anything.
Yeah. Because we're not.
y'all don't have the look of I'm gonna steal anything. You guys have the look of I'm here for a purpose.
Yeah. Yeah. That whole situation was just ridiculous. Yeah. Because we even tried to get help, and the bitch was like, but our white roommate, oh, what do you need? I'll get it for you. So yeah, it was a mess. So yeah, I have been to the Mall of Georgia.
But I don't think we went to the movie theater, but they have the big original kind of IMAX kind of screen kind of thing that you would see maybe at a museum or something. So we went there too. So I went twice each weekend. But yeah, it was good. I really noticed the second time the different ratios they use throughout the film, particularly when Sammy's doing his performance at the juke joint. It gets bigger, and it really just kind of draws you in to the screen. I loved it. So yeah.
I would like to see it. I would like for it to be done in 3D. That would be dope to see it in 3D. So, but yeah,
I just haven't seen a film in 3D that I was like, I'm so glad that was in 3D yet.
Really?
Yeah.
Shoot. Okay, some movies is it was a waste. Some movies will have you ducking under your seat.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hit or miss.
Yeah.
I've never seen
a really cool enhancer, but I can't recall a movie that I'm like, oh wow, that 3D was really great.
My Bloody Valentine was really good in 3D.
I did not see that. So
yeah. And the part that sucks about 3D is that like some people have tried to go back and turn movies into 3D and it is terrible. Like the original Jurassic Park, I went and saw that when they brought it back to the theaters in 3D and it was horrible. Like, do not go see a movie that wasn't intended to be in 3D in 3D. So, but
never seen a movie in 3D, so I
never.
I never, and you know, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm telling you as 100% the person I am, that I haven't seen anything in 3D. One is because I'm super cheap. Two is because I probably would flash the fuck out.
Yeah, and I'm like, how you be like, oh, you know. So
no, that's fair. Yeah. The last few movies I probably saw in 3D was because I was going to a screening anyway. So
yeah. I've seen movies in 3D at the motion seat with the motion seats. The
4DX.
Yeah, the 4DX where you get the smell, you get the wind, the rain. Black Panther, the original Black Panther. Yeah, it was 3D.
Yeah, I've got that experience. I just never had the 3D experience.
Okay.
I did that for that last Star Wars movie that had come out, and it made me sick. It made me really sick. I got motion sickness.
Yeah. Some people have
like I pay all this money to feel sick. Okay, that's great.
Yeah, I remember there was one movie we went to go see where the seats wasn't on for like the first half hour, and I had to go tell them like, "Hey, these seats ain't on." And so then they came and put the seats on. So when I came back in there and the seats were on, I was like, "Y'all welcome." But we complained about it afterwards because it's expensive to go to those seats, and they ended up giving us passes to come back. So, but yeah, because we were sitting there at first, and I was just like, our seat's supposed to be moving, but it was a movie we ain't seen yet, so I was like, maybe they come on later. So that's why it took so long for me to be like, hey, these seats ain't on. So,
yeah. It would be interesting to see this in 4DX, but so I didn't know when they first started like talking about this movie. I saw like a shot of Michael B. Jordan, like I think at the juke joint, and it was when after things had been happening, so he was just in an undershirt. And I knew it was about vampires. I knew about the time period, and I knew it was gonna be Ryan Coogler. And so I didn't really look into much else after that. Because I was like, that's enough. I'm good. I'm sold.
Yeah.
And when he's in it, great. I'm seeing it. So I didn't even know when the movie started that he was playing twins.
Okay.
So yeah, I was sitting next to my friend. I was like, he's playing twins in this? He was like, oh yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't know until the second trailer.
Okay.
See, the first trailer, I was like, oh shit, I want to go see that.
Yeah, I think maybe I saw the trailer, but that was it.
I didn't see the second trailer. I just saw the first trailer one time, and I did not know nothing outside of him playing his twin and that it was a horror film. And that was it. So we were surprised that it was a vampire movie.
Really? You didn't know it was vampires? Okay.
It was a vampire movie. I was anticipating it, like, and then I'm one of those people that like to download movies all the time. So the beautiful mother of my child said, no, we're going to see that at the show. And I was like, all right, bet.
Yeah, I'm glad she intervened.
Yeah, he definitely was like, no, we're not going to watch this on camera view at the house. Because my thing is, I always be like, man, we got a big ass TV, so we just watch it at home. And she like, no.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
At all.
But honestly, like we were saying before, hadn't been a whole lot of movies I wanted to go see in the movie theater anyway.
Right. Yeah, especially post-pandemic, you know, a lot of people still have not gone back to the movies like they were going before. Like I stay in a suburb outside of Kansas City, and I just found out yesterday that the theater out here closed on April 30th. And I'm a little upset about that because that one was only 2 miles up the street. So now I got to go to the next suburb, which ain't nothing but 15 minutes, but still,
I'm about to say,
the point.
There's nothing like 2 minutes up the street. What are you talking about?
2 minutes up the street is crucial.
Hey,
It's
I know
crucial.
exactly what you mean.
But knowing where you stay, that trip ain't shit.
Man.
You all right. You can take the back streets of that motherfucker.
I can, but it's not the point. Like, so yeah. So yeah, I'm a little upset about that because I used to go up the street and watch a movie in the middle of the day by myself. Be straight. Yeah. So yeah. So you've seen it twice, Maria.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Lily, how many times have you seen it?
I've seen it once. But I am a stickler for detail. And I was pointing things out and at the show. I had a white man in the back of me. And I was pointing things out to Jasmine, and he was like, "Oh shit, you ain't lying." And I was like, "Yeah, like yeah, you gotta peep what's going on right now." And he was like, "Dude, like I didn't even pay attention to that." I'm like, "Yeah, pay attention."
Yeah.
Pay attention, Caucasian.
Yeah. I've only seen it once too, but I have noticed a lot of people have gone back to see it again and want to continue to keep going.
I have friends that have seen it 4 times.
My record is 4 times going to the theater, and that was with Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah, I think the last time I went to a movie theater that many times to see a movie was Get Out.
Okay.
I think I went three times for Get Out.
I think I've seen Get Out 3 times too.
Yeah.
And it's no downplay to Straight Outta Compton, but you went to go see Straight Outta Compton 4 times.
I did, and I went with a different group of people every time.
No, what? Why? Like,
it was a different experience every time. I fucking love that movie. Right. I love that movie.
I ain't mad at you, but it's just like, yeah, I only needed to see that like maybe twice.
No, I loved Straight Outta Compton to the point where when it came out on DVD, I ended up getting it on Blu-ray, but I didn't have a Blu-ray player, so I bought the Blu-ray player for Straight Outta Compton. I love that movie.
Now, I've already pre-ordered my Sinners 4K like metal case special edition DVD already.
Oh, well, I didn't even know they were on sale yet.
You were savage.
I'm ready. I have my PS5 ready to go. Like, let's go.
Yeah, I did say that I was gonna. That's one of the movies that I'm going to definitely get because I have a slot of movies. Because I can't say a plethora of movies that I have. I don't, but I do have a slot of movies that I'm like, these are if I'm just bored and I don't want to watch TV like that, I'll slap these in.
Heck yeah.
And that is one of those that I'm gonna definitely do.
Yeah. Yeah. So starting again, I guess around the beginning of the movie. So I had missed the part. The first time I saw it, I actually missed the whole kind of illustrated part where they're talking about, you know, the difference between the Philly and the Firekeepers and the Griot, and how they all have similar stations in their particular cultures of being able to create the culture and maintain the culture from past, future, into the present, into the future. Well, sorry, from present, past, and then into the future, right? But of course, they bring that back up again when we're back in the juke joint. But I really like when my dad. We're all over the place. I'm gonna be all over the place. Okay, relax.
Yeah,
let's do it.
So my dad was born in 1950, but he spent his first 15 years in Little Rock picking cotton every summer because they were sharecroppers.
Oh wow.
And they lived in a place like that. They had, you know, my grandmother had like 10 children and all of them survived. They had holes in the roof and holes in the floor. You know, shoes couldn't stay together, couldn't afford 10-cent lunch, like poverty. Okay. Yeah. And I've been to those fields where he was picking cotton. I've seen they're endless. They are endless. They are shadeless. Yeah. And it's so hot.
Yeah.
He said he used to hallucinate more cotton to pick when he was walking home.
I can believe that.
I mean,
so when Sammy opens that back door and he's like looking out into the world, he's like, I want to leave. Like, yeah.
Felt that wholeheartedly.
You feel that. My father's from Mississippi. My father as someone that didn't get deported. My father was born, and he was born in 1952. He also was from Mississippi, so he was on the cotton field. My mother was a part of the Morel plantation in Oklahoma. Well, not her, but her mother was. So like, yeah, all of that meant something to me because like I knew how I was to just want to get out, want to get out of that environment.
Yeah. Well, since we sharing dad stories, my daddy's from Kansas City, so yeah. But no, I didn't want to feel left out.
Yeah.
No, but
my Cuban daddy is from Mississippi.
Yeah.
But it's just like, you know, the past ain't past.
Right. It ain't that far back, you know.
It's crazy because every time I look at it, I'm like, well, how the fuck did you make it to Mississippi?
Yeah.
Like this is 18 years before my dad's born. He's still doing what he's doing. 18, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yep. The time in the South, especially in the rural South, didn't move as forward as you would like it to have been, you know.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the failure of Reconstruction.
You know, just knowing that my people came from the Morel tribe, you know, they was the last ones to free their slaves. So when slavery got abolished in the 1800s, they didn't get free until the 1910s, maybe 1920s.
Wow.
And it's documented.
There I heard a few others in Mississippi that weren't free until like the 1970s.
Yeah. Because that movie with Keke Palmer, ain't that based on a true story? That Alice movie.
Yeah, I know. I saw that. I don't know that's based on a true story necessarily, but probably, you know, they're definitely recalling those events. You know.
Yeah.
That was that. Seeing that, I really because I don't know too much about my dad, but I do know how my grandmother grew up because I talked to my grandmother a lot. And they talked about those times. Those times were like really, really hard. Like my grandmother being a dark-skinned Cuban woman or part Cuban or whatever, you know what I'm saying, whatever base it is. My dad's father was a fair-skinned man because his dad was Indian. They got to move to Kansas City and he got to work on a railroad. And my father's father was white passing, and that's what got them to be here.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty cool that you know your history like that.
I asked my grandmother when I was younger. I used to ask her a lot about things. She would tell me a lot about shit that was happening with them.
I'm glad she would tell you because a lot of times they don't want to talk about it.
She was so fine in tune with that. With me, always telling me about it. I think she wanted me to know just because my father didn't want to be around. Like, so my dad would totally avoid me because in his mind, he only made girls. So he didn't believe that I was his. But I look just like this nigga. So, but my grandmother, I cannot lie. My grandmother, anytime I came around, she made sure that I knew certain things.
She wanted you to know who you were and where you come from.
That's why I'm glad she would talk about it because so many people they're too traumatized. They don't want to talk about it.
That's true.
My dad doesn't even talk about his father because his father, again, like I said, was white passing. He's more in tune to his stepdad, so he always talks about his stepdad like that's his real father. And my grandmother used to be like, no, that ain't his real daddy. Like, that ain't his real dad. Your grandfather was the dude that everybody was scared of because he would, when it was time for kids to shut up, he would come down the stairs with a whip. Bow. Like, tell y'all niggas to shut the fuck up.
Oh, wow.
But there's a raised type of shit.
Yeah, right. Right. So we talked about this lately, so you already know. But Maria, do you know the significance of October 16th?
October 16th, where?
Well, they talked about October 16th, 1932.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also talked about October 16th, 1992. But the day, October 16th, do you know what day that is?
It's giving me Rodney King, but I actually had when you said 92, that's where my mind went. That's why. But I did read something about this. I can't remember what it was. But I'm thinking more about the newspaper clippings they had shown in the movie.
You are so cold. No. You gotta come to the warm side.
That's why I said where, because I'm like, where are we doing?
Everywhere. It doesn't matter.
Okay, everywhere.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's my birthday.
Oh, girl.
Birthday.
It was not your birthday. You weren't born yet.
I was born in 1992.
You were not born in 1992.
No, I wasn't born in 1992, but I was alive in 1992. So it was my birthday.
Yes, any of that. Oh my God.
It was my birthday in 1992. See? Yeah, I turned 9.
Girl. So anyway.
All right, so let's talk about the beginning of the movie, because the beginning of the movie is also the end of the movie.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is
go ahead.
Did you walk out early?
No, I didn't.
Oh, you hate that?
But if you walked out early, it is the beginning of the movie is the ending of the movie, and it's an affinity, and so that's the thing I like about how he played that, because the beginning and the end is always similar. If you were ever spiritual, you are always taught that the beginning and the end is always the same.
Mm-hmm. And there's
and
also
so that, you know what I'm saying, the beginning of the movie being the end of the movie really made sense to me. I had to explain it to my girl because she didn't understand that, and I was like, I know what I'm saying. Growing up how I grew up, it made, you know what I'm saying. I was like, that's the infinity sign. The infinity sign is
infinity. I thought you were saying
infinity. Excuse me.
Sorry.
I talk in ebonics.
I was like, infinity. I don't really know. Okay, sure.
So it really made sense to me because I was like, so, and for me, I was like, oh, okay, so that was the correlation to the snake. Because even when he cut the snake's head off, the snake was still trying to curl into itself.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the infinity of it. Like, this is what will be shall be. I know what I'm saying. Like that's how I was taught. And I grew up in what will be shall be. Like, it doesn't matter how much you try to change your world. Like when the old saying of if you ever want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. Because
God laughs. Yeah. Man plans, God laughs.
Yeah.
And there's also a saying that the seeds of the end will be planted in the beginning.
Exactly.
So that's that there. But when it started that way, it almost made me laugh, honestly, because record scratch. I bet you're wondering how I got here.
Yeah, that's me. Right?
That's me.
So I almost missed the ending. The
Oh yeah, you got to say there's a mid-credit scene and a post-credit scene.
Yeah. So I almost missed it. So when we was walking down, it had started up. So we stood there and watched it. So yeah.
So my thing, I tell people all the time, I'm like, listen, if they don't turn them lights on, sit your bitch ass down.
Yeah, stay. Just roll a thumb. Stay.
That's it. I tell people all the time, like, if they don't turn them lights on, sit the fuck down.
Yeah.
So it took me, I think, probably the second viewing for me to really get like that post-credit scene fully. So I just have to go back and see it again, I guess.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, see it again.
I feel like I got a good grasp on it, but with a lot of people saying that going the second time, like a lot of things that they didn't catch before they caught. So I'm like, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna go again.
Yeah, the first thing I noticed were the vultures.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There are two of them show up with the twins, and then when Remick first appears, and I love the way he just jumps into frame out of nowhere. I love that shot so much.
Yeah.
But you see vultures circling the cabin,
and
then they also show up later at the juke joint.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked how he jumped in the frame too. And then he was on fire.
Yeah. And the guy who plays him, I had been familiar with before because he was in this show called Skins on the BBC, which was like this teenage drama kind of show that was like
you're gonna have to clarify that real fast.
It's a teenage drama kind of show.
Yeah, because
it was on for many years. It's BBC, British Broadcasting Company.
There you go. Okay? Go ahead and say that.
We are talking about media.
I'm like, what? Like, you don't know BBC?
Some people don't know what BBC is.
Lord have mercy.
That is not my fault. I will clarify. I mean, the British Broadcasting,
this is America. So when America hears BBC.
But there was a American version of the show that came on MTV.
Okay, I do remember it on MTV.
Yeah, it did not work on MTV. It just wasn't really that good. But the British version is a really, really good show. So he plays this kind of funny character on there. So it was kind of cool to see Remick also be funny as well.
Yeah. Now, did y'all catch that he was Irish when y'all watched?
Yep.
I didn't catch that. It wasn't until I watched somebody's review. Now I was like, oh, okay, he's Irish.
Yeah.
So Jasmine told me, she was like, the reason why you be picking up on that is because all your favorite teams is from New England. And I was like, all right, you might be right.
Right.
You might be right
you
about
have
that.
A point.
Because I said it off the flip. I said, that's an Irish dude.
Yeah. I mean, he had the accent, but also I had a whole hyper focus on like Ireland when I was in high school.
You did?
Yeah. I ended up reading like a lot of I ended up reading like a lot of myths and like history, and ended up like listening. I had like a Chieftain CD because I liked the music and everything.
I was so into Norse gods that I got into Celtic culture, like weird as a kid, like, and so like I was in golf, like Jasmine said it, like you must have some ancestry over there because it makes no sense why this shit intrigues you that much. I'm like, I might have, but
well, I mean, honestly, I just like myths in general. That was just the topic for those years, So like, before that, it was Greek. Before that, it was Egyptian. Before whatever.
Yeah.
And then Nazi, and then whatever. But like, yeah. So, but also it was to me, it was like I also had a friend who was like had Irish ancestry, and I was just like, you could pick up a book and learn your ancestors' stories, their names, the language, the music they sang, the things they believed in, the clothes they wore. I can't do that.
Right.
I can't not with the great specificity. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And he was just like, it doesn't interest me. And it drove me crazy.
Even you saying that out loud makes more sense of why I was drawn to it, because it was actually something that I can follow. You know what I'm saying? Like I was really caught up in all of that shit. And it was because I can follow. I couldn't follow my own coach. First of all, I got two coaches. One, I don't really even know. And then one that was literally stripping away.
On purpose. And that's the shit, on purpose. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like,
yeah. But yeah, I don't have nothing to do with Irish.
Yeah, we don't either.
Yeah.
Apparently, my dad did his.
Yeah.
We were just in the gulf of it. But let's get back to the movie.
Yeah.
Love the Choctaw Vampire Hunters.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a good touch.
Yes.
That was a good touch. Yeah.
That was so chef's kiss, just because how they moved. They was like, all right, peace to you and your family, and we out. Like, sun's about to come down. we don't play with these niggas in the, you know what I'm saying, when it's nighttime. Right. We go hunt these niggas in the day because they weak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And I like,
they roll up, they look so good in all their gear.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's at the door and they pull their guns. The dudes in the back pull their guns. Mm-hmm. And the guy at the door doesn't flinch. He's just like, really? Okay. And then he sees those roads and he's like, oh, well.
Right. I tried to help, but you don't let your racism get you killed. So, all right.
And that was a crazy thing because it was pure racism. It was get the fuck off my land, basically. And and he just and his own native tongue was like, hey man, I hope y'all be safe. I love y'all, God love y'all, but I'm out. Like,
right. Because I can't help nobody that don't want it.
Their land. Sure, okay.
Yeah. Right. And then there's that. So
I did notice like in the cabin, there is a crib.
I saw that too. Yeah.
But we don't hear a baby. We don't hear about a baby. So I was like, did they have a child and the child died, or were they planning on having a child?
Oh, he straight up murdered the baby.
I don't think they had a baby because to me, she turns back in and is like looking for her husband, but she doesn't say anything about the baby.
Yeah, that's a point. Also,
or that got cut or something.
But honestly, it's not really clear on if they're husband and wife or brother and sister.
Well, I mean, they could be both.
Both, right?
I don't know.
Both can be true. Yeah. I looked at it when she was looking through the house, and she was calling his name. I thought it was one of those things where when she went into the baby's room, she thought that he was going to be there with the baby. And that's not what she's seen. She's seen a mutilating scene of the baby because the baby's a baby. So, like, yeah, he totally drained the shit out the baby and then drained the shit out the husband.
Her not to ask about the baby is just so weird. That's the part where I was like, she's not going to mention the baby? You know what I mean?
And that moment is like, okay, so I always talk about white people greed. At that moment, I know what I'm saying. I was like, okay, so the reason why he was even in there is because he offered them gold. And so she wasn't concerned about the baby in that moment. She was concerned about where the husband was with the fucking gold. And so looking around the house, she went through every room and ended up in the crib and in the baby's room. And she seen it was a melee, like if you look at her, she paused, and they didn't. And shout out to Ryan Coogler for not showing like a crazy baby scene, like.
Yeah, no, I don't.
But it was one of those things where it's a rocking chair. Yeah, it's a rocking chair where he's rocking and he's full of blood, like face to fucking foot, and he's like, shh. He's waking up. Like, I really do believe it was one of the. I really do believe he ate a baby.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't put it past him, but
I really do believe he ate
why
the baby.
Would you turn a baby? You gonna eat the baby? You're not turning a baby.
Because what can you do with a baby? Like, you gotta think these vampires. They once you get bit,
but I didn't think
you're the same age that you are always the time you got bit. That's what you are for the rest of eternity.
Right.
Imagine a flying vampire baby like that. We don't need that.
Right. Yeah. No, I get it that you'll like if you bite the baby, they'll be stuck in that age. I get that part, but I didn't think vampires were cannibals.
Yeah. I mean, if you suck in
why would you?
So yeah, you're a cannibal.
Why would you? What do you mean by cannibal?
Because y'all saying that they ate the baby.
Yeah, he stuck the baby dry. That's what we say.
Not like cut it up and ate it, but drained it.
Yeah, drained the baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because
I'm like, wait, whole life force out the baby.
He didn't fry the baby up,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He wasn't like, yeah, let's put this motherfucker in some buttermilk and then
he just
put some flour on this bitch. Like that ain't what happened.
Yeah.
But he did drain the baby dry.
Yeah. Okay. So I would think if the baby was present, because I don't think a baby was present. If a baby was present, I would think you would kill the father first, because the father's not going to stand around and let you drain the baby. Because the father don't know that's what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? You're attacking this baby.
Yeah, but I think Lily's saying by the time she got in, they were both dead anyway.
Yeah, they were both dead anyway. I'm pretty sure when he let that fucking demon in, first thing that demon did, because that demon was already hurt, was kill the baby. And then when the father seen it, of course, he attacked him. And then he bit the father, turned the father, and then turned the mom.
Okay. But outside of the crib or the nursery, actually, there's no other indication that a baby was present. So I'm thinking if we go with the ideology of them being brother and sister, I'm thinking that maybe a baby already was dead.
Lindsay.
I'm not sure what brother and sister have to do with it.
I'm not pulling brother and sister, but again, Lindsay, this is 1932. You expecting 1932? We don't have anything that we think is supposed to be baby orientated back then. So you're not gonna see any baby shit.
What? We just discovered germ theory.
You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna see like building blocks and coloring boards. Like
no. Listen to me. What I'm saying is that, because again, we don't know if they were not related. If they were brother and sister, then that's incest. So if they did conceive a child, the child was probably fucked up and the child probably died, but they probably didn't know that until after birth. And they probably already had
buried him in the soil. Like, so you have a weird
happened in the film.
I mean, we can come up with a lot of theories.
The way that you don't like white people is showing right now.
I'm cool with white folks.
Just like you, Lily, like you said about races. That's what it is. Yeah. Remember, they do have those clan robes.
And like, listen, I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it, but I'm saying the way you're making this.
I don't like racist white folks.
Yeah, the way you're making this is like, because again, they are racist. Like you have made them, you have demonized the shit out of. I'm still trying to make them humans at this point. You're trying to demonize them. Like, nah, they was brother and sister. They done fucked. This baby done died. Like,
I came up with a whole storyline.
This fucking bitch ass baby done died. Fuck that baby. Fuck that racist ass baby.
Right. With the incest of racist blood all through its veins.
Yeah. Fuck that baby. Like, they were just like living off the remnants of fucking incest babies.
But some of the other the Choctaw, for instance, was one of the native indigenous peoples who gave money to the Irish when they were going through the famine that was really being done by the British. It wasn't about potatoes.
Right. Yeah.
Now, I'm glad you said that, Maria, because you know what? I was literally 2 weeks old when I found out that Irish racial slur is being called a potato because of what happened to them.
That's not the one that I heard of. I've heard of different ones, though.
I don't know any Irish folks like that.
Yeah,
like
that video that you
had my dude Sean. Rest in peace to my dude Sean. He had a restaurant out here. He ended up getting shot. And somebody tried to steal a car, and he tried to intervene, and they shot him. Only Irish dude that I really do know. But I did find out that like being called a potato is a racist a racial slur to the Irish folks.
Yeah, I can imagine.
And I was like, what? Like, hell no. So I can literally be like, so if somebody be like, you fucking nigger, I could be like, you bitch ass potato. And I can really, and they will flash out, and I'll be ready for them to flash out because I'm like, nigga, I want to give you those floppy ears that niggas get in UFC. I want to give you the pancake ear, nigga.
Okay.
You're ready. You just
can't wait to give you that shit, nigga. I hit hard. I'm gonna flop your shit. Yeah, I'm gonna flop your shit weird.
Yeah, that video, that drive that you sent us, Maria, when that one guy was talking about being Irish living in the South, he talked about being called a potato head from like 4th to 7th grade or something like that. And when I saw that, I was like, "Ooh, that is low down. That is cold blooded." Because I didn't know about it until Queen Elizabeth died, and there was that viral video that went around of them at the soccer field, and they were chanting some song, but they were mocking her death, and I was like, I don't understand what's going on. And then
really?
Then I read up on it and I saw what the British had did to them, and I was like, dang,
they did everything but chattel slavery.
Yeah,
that's the only thing they didn't do.
So that potato, they don't play no games with that.
They'll flash out like. Yeah. I'm like, damn, like this the equivalent of nigger to them? Like that's crazy.
Well, hey, we all know it was no blacks, no dogs, no Irish, for a long time. And the folks who were like living in Ireland were abolitionists, when America was a slave country, it still is. But when their family came here, they switched it up. And the folks back in Ireland were like, what are you doing? This is not who we are.
Right. And that's and you know what? As much as we want to villainize Remy, he didn't give a fuck about who he was. He just wanted to make you him.
Well, he's also like very much like the abuser becomes the abused. I mean, the abused becomes the abuser.
Exactly. Yep. That's exactly what he was. It was like, you get a I don't know about everybody else, but you get a certain kind of soft spot for him, because I know exactly because of the field that I work in, I know what actually happens, because the villain or the victimized sometimes always become the villain.
Mm-hmm. It can happen
just because of things that happen to him.
Yeah.
And so like he was really a victimized individual that became a villain. Because it was it at the end of the day, it was we all go on that fight or flight. With him, it was one of those things where he had to become the villain because of what happened to him. Like all of his shit was stripped away.
Yeah.
Everything that he ever loved, everything that he ever had was stripped away. And it was because of a false culture. It was because of a false fucking religion. It was a lot of things. And he was mad about that. And he just wanted to and like, so I ain't saying no, like you're supposed to sympathize for him, but I do understand. But at the same time, I will kill you where you stand, nigga.
I mean, I can sympathize all day long. Oppression operates the same way everywhere.
Yeah.
Still, that don't mean
you just chose the wrong path.
Right. I get your context, but where we are right now is not the solution.
Right.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You still can't come in.
I understand. I understand what you at. But I will kill you where you stand, my nigga.
Right. 100%.
What did you think of the scene? Well, of course, this is like the opener where they're passing the cigarette back and forth.
I looked at it from a technical standpoint because they wanted to show how seamlessly they were passing it back and forth. Like they do that trick all the time when people play dual scenes. So yeah,
I've never seen it look that clean ever.
Right. And I was looking with my good eye. I was definitely looking because I love looking at stuff like that to see if I can see. You know what I'm saying? Because I did see some certain things. You know what I'm saying? But it was only when they had to put in a double
body. Yeah. So like when he's hugging like from the back, and it's only from like a split second that you're like, that's not him.
Right. So yeah, that's the only reason why I was really paying attention to that part with them passing the cigarette back and forth.
It's a flex.
Yeah, because they did do it very well.
So I really like that piece right there. The reason why I really like that piece right there, because it lets you know who is really the hunter and the gatherer. Like, people really didn't know. I don't think people really got the concept of what was happening right there. Smoke and Stack are two different individuals, 100%. One's the hunter, one's the gatherer. Stack was 100%. And Stack was the one with the. And when I say this, because I really want to be 100% authentic. Stack was the one with the black woman, right?
No.
So that was Smoke with the black woman.
Smoke wears blue, Stack wears red.
That's okay. So
Annie wears blue, Mary wears pink.
Boom. You okay. Spot on right there.
I was getting confused too.
That's okay. I get confused too.
Nah, because I don't know who was who in that, but I realized that in that moment right there, it was the hunter. Like, you passed the hunter what you gathered. And so I don't think a lot of people paid attention to that. Because I paid attention to the scene where when they were together with the little cousin and they were separating, and he told him, he said, "Hey man, he don't know how to he don't know how to look after himself. So I really need you to." He was like, "What you want me to do?" And he said, "Exactly what the fuck I told you to do. Like,
watch his back,
because he don't know how to take care of himself. Like, he don't know how to watch himself. So that's what I need you to do." The hunter does that. And the same, and 5 minutes later, you seen how the hunter was, because the hunter said, "I'm not that I caught you niggas stealing, but I'm gonna shoot you because can't nobody think that y'all almost stole from me."
Yeah.
I was like, did he do it in the kneecap though? Like, dang.
He shot him in the ass.
The second
one nigga in the ass, one nigga in the kneecap, because he dead off the flip. Y'all can't almost steal from me.
Right. But you're lucky that's what I did instead of killing you. So
yeah.
And so see, that's the hunter. And you see how the other one was so inviting to everybody. Like, even, you know what I'm saying, trying to get the dude to come through, like, he wanted to play music and be that kind. And then even before that, he knew I shouldn't even be around this white bitch right now at this time. And I still allowed this white bitch to get that close to me.
Yeah.
So
that was one of the things I peeped so much. I was like, oh, like, this is one of them things like at this time, this nigga knew what it was. Like, this nigga knew, hey man, we can't be playing that type of game with these people, because that's how you get killed. But the other brother was, you know what I'm saying, as much as he knew the game, he still was just sliding in some bullshit every now and then.
So Stack is the one who rolls the cigarette for Smoke because Smoke hands shake too bad from the PTSD. So while Stack might not be able to watch his back, he's able to care for Smoke in ways that Smoke can't care for himself.
So that's what I'm kind of confused with. So were they in the military?
Yes, they were in World War I.
Okay.
So there's this one part where I can't remember which one of them, but they pull out this, I think it was Stack. Yeah, when they're killing the snake, because he pulls up like this weapon out. It looks like some brass knuckles, got a spike on it, and a knife.
Yeah. It's
a World War I weapon.
Okay.
Because you can either hit somebody, stab somebody, slice somebody.
Right.
And he tosses it to Smoke, and Smoke kills the snake.
Okay, gotcha.
And so that's when you get to the very end of the movie, right before the KKK comes. Smoke is sitting there, thinking about everything they lost that night. He's trying to roll the cigarette. He can't.
He can't do it.
Yeah, he can't.
Yeah.
Because his brother always rolled it for him.
Okay, gotcha. I thought he was just like nervous that he was about to go to war by himself.
Nah, it was one of those things where it was PTSD, and it was also exactly what the fuck just happened right now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
But I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, why is his hand shaking so bad? You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, his hands wouldn't have been shaking that bad. Like, if that shit didn't happen, he would have rolled. It wouldn't have been perfect.
Oh no, I mean in the very beginning when they're passing the cigarette back and forth, his hands are shaking so bad he can't roll it, and that's when Stack has to do it for him. And I'm like, why are his hands shaking that bad? You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, I was still involved with the technical part. I did not even pay attention to the story.
I paid attention to it. Only reason why I paid attention to it is because I paid attention to how much they were revered, and I had times in Mississippi. You know, because not only my father being from there, my stepfather is from Mississippi as well. So I know how much they revere niggas that come back from shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I was paying attention to both of them niggas because I know how it is in Mississippi. They really it's a different respect that they hold for dudes. Like if you went to war or you even went out of town and like chase drugs, if you came back to the city and Mississippi, like especially where my people from Indianola to Greenville, like them they when they see you, like they hold you on a different respect. When I come through the town, when I go through Greenville right now, it's like people really be like, "Oh, nah, that's Bud son."
Mm-hmm.
Even though I don't even know Bud, like, but they be like, "Nah, that's Bud son for real." You can tell, like this old curly haired ass nigga, like that's Bud son.
Mm-hmm.
So I know what I'm saying. I got that.
Yeah,
I understood how much. Yeah, I got that part.
Yeah,
like
but it was very
them
multi-layered because not only were they in the war, but they went to Chicago, and they also had a reputation that preceded itself for years, way before they even left. So it was multi-layered. That when you see them twins, you're like, "Oh shit, let me get my shit."
Because their father even had that reputation.
Yeah.
So, I do like how they had them dressed like the different mobs they were running with. You got Smoke dressed like an Irish mobster, Stack dressed like an Italian mobster. Which makes me think they were getting up to like some twin shenanigans in Chicago, probably trading clothes and stuff.
They were playing the field. That's how they know. That's how they got away with some shit.
Yeah, for sure. You know, that would be just funny to see. Let's see what else. Oh, yes, of course. So they come back to town. Of course, they want to open this juke joint. They want to own this juke joint. They want to be a place, you know, for people in town to come and relax because there's maybe just one place in town, it sounds like, right? And they've got all this money and they've got all this beer and all this wine, all this illegal liquor.
Like, where they get that from?
Right. And they need to wash this money and make more money or so. You know, they want to open this place, and so they're trying to get it from this white guy. He used to be a slaughterhouse. He lies to them about it, you know. And you also get like more depictions of what the differences between Smoke and Stack are in that scene, right? With Smoke, you know, circling behind the guy with his hand on his gun, you know. And Stack, you can't really tell at first what he's about to do until he hands him the money. But yeah, he's more the people person, right?
Yeah,
which is why he goes out to gather, you know, Sammy and like cornbread from the field and everything. Stack is the muscle, not Stack. Smoke is the muscle.
Yeah, and he's also the business mind.
I was about to say he's the business mind.
Yeah.
So in the business mind, because
it's definitely Michael B. Jordan's best role I've ever seen him in. Because to be honest, he's been a very charismatic actor, but I hadn't really been impressed necessarily until now. And he's made leaps and bounds.
I say I was impressed with Black Panther, but I do get what you're saying as well, because I feel like more people talk about his looks than his acting abilities.
100%, 100%.
Yeah. But he definitely showed his ass in this movie.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just thinking about what it would be like to act as your own twin. How is your twin going to respond? What's their face going to look like? Where are they going to stand? Where are you going to be standing together? What about your other twin? What's it like? You know, all that kind of stuff. So very cool, challenging act acting role, I think.
Yeah, right. It's only so many people that can do that and do it well.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, because a lot of people were like, I keep forgetting it was 2 actors. I keep waiting for the other to show up on interviews and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, but
So
I thought that was I thought that was real cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Do you see this being something that can like move him into doing more serious roles or anything like that?
Michael, well, yeah. I mean, he's done serious roles before, so
that's
yeah,
fine.
but
yeah.
I mean,
because there was
but again, we don't necessarily talk about his acting. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, are we going to be taking him more seriously now? I guess I should.
I hope so. As long as
I don't talk about his acting
as seriously as he is here, you know, like he's shown. I mean, let's see. Between Black Panther before this was probably my favorite performance of his, but it still wasn't like Chadwick was. So, but he's definitely. I mean, his game is kicked up like so much. It's crazy.
So, my thing, I've been a fan of Michael B. Jordan since The Wire.
Where's Wallace?
And I really thought he was dope in Fruitville Station.
That's the only one I haven't seen because I know how much I'm gonna cry. I already saw the real tape. I was like, I really can't do it to myself.
So I would implore you to watch it. And if we ever get on Roomies with Movies again, I will watch the movie again in order to like have a real talk to you about, because I really did love his performance in that, because it was everybody that I grew up with that just was trying to make it. So I think that Michael B. Jordan is an amazing actor. I always thought that. It was the outside persona of Michael B. Jordan which held him back. But I think him getting older, going into fruition, getting into these into certain iconic roles, and also being a part of movies, as far as like Fruitville Station, Creed, even with Sinners, it's like you are really actually seeing the growth of him.
Oh yeah.
And so I really I dig the shit out of it. Like,
no, he's never been a bad actor.
Exactly. No. So with him doing Sinners, I rank him in the same rank that I do Tom Hardy when he had to do the same thing. Like,
what movie?
I really think, and that's just my opinion. If any of your viewers have a problem with it, you know, my whole thing is, you know, my favorite saying is, if the dick fits, fuck it.
Lily, we are live on YouTube.
No, I do. I do know. I'm always live on YouTube. But I always say this. With that, like, he did a phenomenal performance of being the total opposite of himself. And
I mean, whatever himself is, I mean, I don't know. I'm not really familiar with him outside of movies. I'm not gonna lie.
So, I'm not familiar either because I don't know him, but I'm saying he was able to play the total opposite of himself.
Yeah.
Dual role. So if you don't respect that, then you just don't like acting.
Yeah, like come on.
At that point, you just don't like. You just want an actor to just do what you want him to do.
Yeah. That's not. Yeah.
Like he was able to do this, and from everything from being an individual who had PTSD, that was really fighting vampires, to actually being a vampire in the same goddamn movie. If y'all don't respect that, y'all crazy as fuck.
No, you really are. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, we don't need to know him in real life to know that.
Yeah, he's killing the job.
Yeah, right. So,
dude, if you were in my business, I'd give you a promotion. Like, you're doing amazing. You were making $20 million.
There's a reason they've been working together for 15 years.
Exactly. You were getting a raise, my nigga. You are great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also have Wunmi Masaku in it, who I've been a fan of for quite a while. Of course, she probably got more famous here with Lovecraft Country.
Yes.
A few years ago. I absolutely loved her in that. I did a whole podcast with my friend Megan. We did deep dives for every single episode called Lovecraft Country Crossing. So if you're interested in that, check it out. But she's been in so much stuff. She's been in MCU stuff. She's been in a lot of TV. So I have seen her in quite a few TV shows. I think she was in Black Mirror even once, one season. But she's fantastic.
I've never seen her before this movie.
Really?
You're a goddamn lie.
If I have, I don't remember. But yeah, because I've probably only seen like one episode of Lovecraft Country.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, a lot of TV. I don't watch too many scripted television shows nowadays.
Oh.
So
yeah, I prefer scripted a lot.
Yeah.
I'll give you a pass then. Because I'm like, we did hella TV.
Yeah. See, and I don't watch too many scripted shows.
Yeah,
I'm a reality girl.
Well, yeah, I have to be very specific for my reality show.
Yeah.
It'll stress me out if they start arguing. I can't take it. Because I'm like, there's so much real stuff going on. Like,
right.
You're arguing about a cake. I can't deal with you right now.
Right. Like, you really mad for an invite.
Please. Give me something scripted.
Yeah.
But fair. Yeah. Batman, she was in
She's
Batman.
Good. She's amazing.
Where to find them. Deadpool and Wolverine. She was in Deadpool and Wolverine.
I mean, she was in Deadpool and Wolverine. She was in Loki. She was in Lovecraft Country. Like,
yeah, Black Mirror. That one too.
Black Mirror,
the world. Luther. I saw her in Luther. Yes.
No.
Luther. Oh, she was in Luther. Dude, like she's phenomenal. Like
all of them.
I'm just not gonna throw that out. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like her versatility is amazing.
Yeah.
Incredible. Now, again, all I knew was that Michael B. Jordan was playing his twin, and it was a horror flick. Mm-hmm. That's all I knew going in. So when I saw her, I didn't know if that was his mom.
Don't say that, because he served that real hard dick in that movie.
I mean,
I knew at that point that wasn't the case. I'm sure.
Well, I'm talking about when he first pulled up and he went to that grave.
Yeah, you been talking this incest shit though, so I'm like,
was it? No. When he went to the grave,
he said incest is for racists.
Yeah. So when he went to the grave, I thought that was the dad's grave.
God damn, Maria.
We knew.
Me. Don't join me on my group chat Zoom calls, okay? I'm being professional right now. And you have no idea, Leah.
Whoa, I don't. Like, for you to put that staple out there, like, nah.
Right, that's for them. Yeah,
that's for them. That's not. They're not like us.
Right. But no, I thought the grave was his dad, because we knew that their dad was dead. But we knew they had a voluntary relationship, but we knew that they had a relationship nonetheless. So I thought when he went to the grave, that was his dad, and I thought the lady at the porch was his mom. But I caught on.
I didn't know. I didn't know what their relationship was going to be in the movie at all, really.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I wasn't surprised. I never thought she was his mother or anything, though, because they're literally the same age.
Yeah, I didn't think that was his mother. I will say,
I saw the handprint on the rock, I was like, oh, that's a baby.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I will say, that was one of the most, like, that and the end scene was, and I don't care. I'll just go ahead and say this. Those were the my emotional times. When I seen that, because I noticed when he put the flowers there, it was milk there, mm-hmm. and I immediately knew that was a baby, and I immediately got emotional.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? It took me a certain way, mm-hmm. and then towards the end, when he tried his best to roll that cigarette and couldn't, and then he took that cigarette from that white man, and she said, put that smoke out if you want to hold her. I immediately got emotional right there.
But do you hear what she's saying? Do you hear what she's saying though? She said, Elijah, put that smoke down. I don't want any of that to get on her.
Yeah.
Put down
smoke. Put smoke
down.
Yeah. Yeah, she called him by his real name.
Yeah.
That
sent me. Like,
that
sent me right there.
Yeah.
And as when I was caught up in getting sent, like, I ain't even gonna lie, watching the movie, like, and this is, I can honestly say, this is the first horror movie that I actually cried in, because I cried in both of those scenes. And immediately when the white man said something, I'm like, man, fuck you. And he immediately just started shooting this nigga, and I was like, yeah, because don't steal my vibe. Like,
right.
He could have just shut up.
Yeah, you gotta be quiet. Like, bro, just be quiet.
Like, do you see what's going on here?
No, he doesn't. But he also could have just shut up.
Right.
Yeah, you could have shut up. Like, you might have.
He's not paying attention to you. Just shut up.
Like, he's not. Yeah, you could have maybe tried to crowd your bitch ass away from him.
Right. That's what I was thinking too.
Like why? Like, you see where he's at. So I understood, because like I heard a motherfucker say that's overkill, and I was like, no, it the fuck ain't. Like, shut the fuck up.
No, it isn't, please.
Right. It wasn't.
I got money. You have his money that they just gave you.
I just gave you this money.
My money?
What the fuck are you talking about right now? Like, you were taking me away from my daughter. Like, I'm not.
Yeah. And also, it's that scene there where he's like, kind of just going over everything that was lost. All the people who had helped come and build this place, all the people who helped come and cooked and put everything up and got everything ready, who came and attended, the people in the town that he knew, that all of these things that made this life are gone.
Yeah.
And you want to tell me you got money?
I got money. I don't, dude. I'm going up yonder. I don't need to hear you right now.
Mm-hmm.
You devil of a man.
Right.
Like, I don't need to hear you. I've case in point, I've killed many devils tonight. You are not shit right now.
There's one more.
Right.
One more, and ain't gonna knock no dust off my soul, my man.
Right.
Because I'm going to put smoke down and go with my family.
And I'm gonna go with my family.
Mm-hmm.
And study War no more. I also really love Haley Steinfeld. I first saw her in True Grit in 2010, which was like her first movie role. She was fantastic. She got nominated for an Oscar.
True Grit was good.
Yeah.
True Grit was good.
I remember because it was like the year she and Jennifer Lawrence both got nominated for the same Oscar, and Jennifer Lawrence won. And it was right before The Hunger Games was cast. Okay. Right before The Hunger Games was cast. And I knew, I was like, whoever wins this one is going to be the one to play Katniss. But the person who fits the description of Katniss in the books is Haley Steinfeld. She's very much in the book. She's like olive skin, brown eyes, gray eyes kind of like person. And the thing is, out where it's supposed to be, which is like out in Appalachia, there's a group of people they would call Melangians, who were mixed race, Black, white, Native American.
Okay.
So I actually went looking into Haley Steinfeld and found out, her grandfather, or like her grandparents, are like part Black and Filipino.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. And so I'm also watching her in this show on Apple TV where she's playing Emily Dickinson. So it's like, in the late 1800s or whatever. So they've got that dress going on. It's very much more like racially diverse than it would ever be in real, But still, seeing her with all of these white people in these clothes, I'm like, y'all think that's a white girl? She never looked white to me. I can understand why other people would see her that way, but I'm like, are you looking at that nose, these eyes, this constant tan?
They're not looking at that.
You know,
they're not looking at that at all.
As much as I can agree with you, at the same time, that was one of the things that I understood what Smoke was talking about Stack, is because, listen, get that white bitch the fuck up out of here.
But she's not white.
Again, for the movie.
No, I'm saying 1932. She's not white.
She's mulatto. Get this mulatto bitch the fuck up out of here.
No. That's not what I'm saying. Hold on. Let me make my point. So I'm talking about her, like when we first see her, like at the train station, she's about to leave on the white car to go back to Arkansas because she is not white where she is, right? Everybody in that town knows she
knows
is not
who
white.
she is. Yeah.
Right. And she also has never necessarily wanted to claim to be white. It's Stack who pushed her to start passing. That's why she's over in Arkansas, because nobody knows who she is up there. That's why
married a white man over there too.
She married a white man.
When those three men come, well, not three men, when the vampires finally show up at the juke joint, they're worried if they're from Arkansas because they think they might know about her and her actually not being white. And everything she does in the movie is saying, I want to be here. This is my home. You know, Annie calls her family. I'm pretty sure there's probably some like cut scenes between the two of them, but Annie calls her family. Her mother breastfed the twins. So they're not white where they are. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get that 100%. At the same time, get your white looking ass the fuck up out of here. This is a problem. My thing is, I love my brother. Me and my brother, we really rock with each other. And so me and my brother listen to each other. If my brother says, "Hey man, get her the fuck up out of here," she got to get the fuck up out of here.
He loves
it. You can talk all that shit you want. You the one taught me how to fight. Bitch, I taught you how to fight when we were 7. I would have one of these little bitches beat the dog shit out of you. Get your white ass the fuck up out of here.
From what she was saying at the train station, they were not 7, okay?
Listen.
I'm just saying.
I get what I get that. But what I'm saying is, y'all gotta go. Like, you gotta leave.
Her. He loves her. He didn't want her to go.
Did. And that's and like, I think so. If it was me, that movie would have lasted 14 minutes because she would have been gone. They would have never been there. We would have had a great ass night, and then we
would never have a movie. We wouldn't be here talking about it.
Yeah, we would.
No.
Yeah, it would have been 14. They would have been like, "Yeah, we having a good. Oh, we had a great time smoking Stack, and the sun would have rise
in the morning,
and everybody would be alive.
They would have killed you in the morning.
Like, because I'm like, shit. That was my whole thing in a nutshell. Ooh, even scratch that. Fast forward to this. Did anybody peep the white and the black side of the street?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
No.
So, Jasmine didn't peep it either. But I was like, did you pay attention to how Smoke was able to shoot 2 men on one side of the street, and the other side of the street wasn't even affected because that was a white side of the street?
Mm-hmm. I mean, there were a lot of other things, like just that whole scene. Was it Grace going to get? Oh no, it was the little girl going to get Grace.
It was a little girl going across the street, and you seen it was nothing but white people there.
Yeah, you can see the difference between the way the sidewalks.
Yeah.
So like on the black side, there's more stuff like open, like carts of like vegetables, or whatever, like on the street or whatever. And then on the white side, everything's much more packaged. Everything's on the inside. There are more cars on that side of the street. Even kind of like the rapport is different, right? Like Lisa and Grace are just very kind of business, matter of factual. But when they get back to the black side, hey, how you blah, 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 you know, because they can't live anywhere else. They live with the black people. Like these are their friends. Like Bo and them grew up together. Like
yeah.
Yeah, but even like the second time I saw it, when she's going across the street, you can hear somebody say, "I don't have a problem with the Negroes, but this something."
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So and nobody, when I was watching the movie, nobody peeped that. And then when I said it out loud, everybody paid attention when she left.
Mm.
I was like,
gotta go see it
going on the
again,
white side. She went on the right side of the street. The little girl went on the right side, white side of the street to get her mama.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now I was curious on why they pretty much had, why they pretty much had the same store on both sides. But now that you say that, like that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Because even though the Chinese can't live with them, they can operate with them.
Yeah. They'll allow them to have a business that
and that was always prominent back then. If you really go through your history, that was always prominent back then.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. They're not going to go to, if they had a Negro owned store, they're not going to go.
No. And you know, Kansas City has that history too. Truth is that.
Yeah.
It's still that, to be honest.
I mean, you know why Grady Hospital looks the way that it does? Grady Hospital in Atlanta is shaped like an H.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Wow. I know that I did not know.
You can go back and forth.
Yeah, right. So
it's been a thing. As when I pointed that out, like Jasmine was like, so shout out to the world that's listening to me, but like my beautiful baby mother and the woman of my life that is going to end up being my wife, she grew up in Raytown where everything was like gentrified, so she had no idea. Like when I tell her certain things about the city, or when I tell her like how I am and how I move with certain things, she is dumbfounded at it because she never had to see it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So like now that she's around me, and like she's like, it's some friends that when me and her first started talking, like she was like, oh no, they cool, and then she realized that they were fake as fuck because when we really started up in a relationship, she started peeping certain things. One of her friends that she knew for years, since she was in the 5th grade, said, oh no, you're not like everybody else, you're Jasmine. And she was like, what the fuck?
Right.
Like, bitch, you know I'm still black though.
Right.
Like, no, you're Jasmine. And like she stopped being her, and I was like, I told you, like, this is how I was raised and grew up. And she never knew that. She was like, I just never seen that growing up, because you get caught up in a concept. Bringing it back to the movie, you get some Asians get caught up in a concept of, you know, they let me in here, so I'm cool. No, you're not. You live over here with these niggas.
They let you in there because they like you.
Yeah, they don't like the rest
you.
of it.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And like, so she really had to peep. She was like, I am so sorry, because she used to look at me like, you're just being stereotypical and what. But I'm like, all right, you're gonna find out.
Mm-hmm, you'll see. Yeah.
You're gonna find out.
Right.
Mm-hmm. I know a lot of people have been calling Mary like a tragic mulatto, but that's just not what happens in the movie. Tragic mulatto is a very specific like movie trope.
Yeah.
It's not just somebody's mulatto and they have a sad time. Like, that's not it.
Yeah. I must say, like, I wouldn't call her a tragic mulatto.
Yeah, because tragic mulatto is about, I'm caught between two worlds and I don't belong in either, and nobody really accepts me, and then for some reason I die about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they don't really make decisions. They're not empowered characters. Things happen to them. Right?
Yeah.
And that's not Mary at all. She's very empowered. She makes her own decisions.
She's very defiant.
Yeah. Like I do respect, and like even watching it when I discussed it after, I was just like, you know, I do respect Mary and her satire of not only how comfortable she was in that environment, but her dialect was very I'm a part of this culture. Even to the point when she when dude was like, you ain't supposed to be here, and she said, hey boy, you better get the fuck out of my face. Like I was like, yeah, she every bit
very insistent throughout the movie. This is where I belong. This is where I want to be. She literally turns away from whiteness at the very beginning, like from the car.
Like, yeah, and, boy, you better get the fuck out of my. I thought that shit was so fucking dope. I laughed hard as hell in the movie theater because I was like, yeah, that is what it. Because at the same time, she turned around and she was just like, little Sammy, you old enough to drink? Come on. Like, she was every bit a part of the culture. As much as, and again, my thing is, if it was me, I would have let her mulatto ass go on about her way. But that's just me.
There's no movie.
There's no movie after that. But you seen how it was one of those things where Stack wanted to protect her from everything that he's ever seen about oppression.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he wanted to protect her. That's why he was like, you got that white husband, you got that, that's where you need to be.
Mm-hmm.
I would have just pushed her more into that. I probably would have had somebody knock her upside the head and kick her out the fucking kick her out the goddamn.
I don't think that would work. I don't think it would have worked. Once she saw he was back, I don't think she was going anywhere. Period.
But you know what? Yeah. Even saying that, like, because I gotta keep it real and I gotta keep it honest. Even saying that out loud, if that would have happened, then Smoke would have never knew that was a setup from the beginning.
Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That know what I'm saying? Now the whole we getting the juke joint was a setup from the beginning. They would have murdered it. They would have been like, let's wake up like we tired, we good, catfish is done. Let's get up out of here. Soon as they open the doors, them white men would have gunned everybody down.
Exactly. Which is why I need people to get the fuck off of Grace's ass. Okay? Oh my God. There were nothing but bad decisions to make. If she had not invited them in, they were going to town. And the KKK was still coming in the morning.
Yep.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
I mean,
that's exactly what was going to happen.
I get that. I get that because she low key did kind of sacrifice them for her daughter.
She didn't. It wasn't just her daughter. She talks about the people in town too. She's not talking about. Yeah. She's like, also, she's the only one there with any living children.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like that was in the. I mean, she of course the rest of the town, but that was in the forefront of her head was her daughter.
Well, yeah, because Rimmer just mentioned it after sexually harassing her in her extremely native language, like not even just Chinese, but specific to the region they from.
No, like, yeah, that was. Listen, I felt offended. Like,
that was wild.
I said, God damn, for him to say that shit to her like that.
That was wild.
That was crazy. That's a demon.
Yeah, because it's a Toy Sanese and it's very specific.
Right. You know, Maria, I'm not even gonna ask how you know.
Oh, I looked it up. Well, I was on TikTok and I actually ran into the person they consulted about the line. And so she was talking about why she chose that. And it's because of like a lot of the people who were Chinese who came over to the Delta were from that area.
Yeah.
And so they wouldn't speak like any kind of modern Mandarin or Cantonese. Right, in that time period, they'd be speaking Toy Sanese. So
but the way that my heart would have dropped to my toes hearing that white man speak to me like that in that native tongue. Oh, I probably would have
your daughter.
Right.
It was a switch up. It was a switch up that got me. Like that's the thing that got the ball in my stomach like turning. Because he was talking and then all of a sudden it was like ding dong ding sound phone. And I was like, oh fuck no. Fuck no.
Whoa.
My head, I would have been like, man, hell the fuck no.
Yeah. But I mean, everything she did, I think, was reasonable for somebody who has a child at home to do. Like,
yeah.
I mean, as a mother, I'm, you know what I'm saying? You would rather die instead of your child dying.
And then on top of that, they going into town.
They're gonna fuck the town up, period.
And then on top of that, a KKK is coming. Also, it's a vampire movie. I don't know if people thought they were never gonna fight the vampires.
And they were getting ready to fight them. So it was like, okay, they're gonna fight them regardless.
Right.
Like
that was gonna happen. She can't escape the script, y'all. I'm sorry.
She can't escape the script, but I do. Okay, so I'll say this. I will give you.
We have a runtime. Like, I don't know.
I will give you this. I will give you this grace on grace. I will give you this. Her immediate reaction was to kill the first motherfucker that know what I'm saying, that stepped up to her. Even on fire. Like, even on fire. That know what I'm saying? That's the type of time she was on.
Mm-hmm. She went straight for her husband.
Yeah.
She stuck him into the ground, and we are dying together.
Yeah.
So like I will give you that. Like, because I've seen a lot of memes. They was like, man, you know, she didn't, she set them up for failure. I'm like, nah, it's like, what I like, because I think about, I keep thinking about it. Like, if my son was with my sister and I was in this situation, and a motherfucker told me in Ebonics, hey, you know, I'm gonna just go after your son next, my nigga. I'm gonna be like, what the fuck are we waiting on? Like,
yeah.
What I'm not gonna do is lose my son tonight.
Yeah.
That's what I'm not gonna do, because I already gotta kill Jasmine.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not killing my son either.
Yeah.
It just has to be what it is. So I ain't even gonna lie. It's one of those things where I'm like, okay, yeah, come on in, you motherfuckers. Like, I can't be mad at her for saying that, because she was ready to go at that point.
And like you said, like, had they gone till morning and opened those doors, there would be a KKK firing squad.
Yeah.
And they know it. They know, like, either this is gonna happen or this is gonna happen.
Yeah. But you know, I didn't feel no ways about her doing what she did. Like, I get people, you know, automatically blaming her, but it was just like, you know, they were gonna fight them, period. They was gearing up to fight them. And it's like it's like, okay, do we fight them or do we let them go into the town for these people that don't know nothing that's going on, you know, to just be killed in their sleep? Yeah. Like, yeah.
Even if somebody got back to town to warn them, who was going to believe you?
Exactly.
And you know, that's the whole thing in a nutshell. Nobody's gonna believe, hey man, it's some vampires coming, and they coming as soon as the sun go down. They're gonna be like, if you don't get your stupid chink ass the fuck about it, like, nobody's believing that shit. Nobody, you going with the ching chong ching.
It's a racial slur.
Yeah, all sorts of shit's gonna pop out.
Please,
Lily, those are
actual racial
slurs. Those are offensive.
Listen, I get what y'all saying.
I just had to fire a hairstylist about this, please.
And my Dave Chappelle voice. This is what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I get it. I'm not trying to disrespect anybody in the Asian community, but she wasn't gonna be able to run to the town and tell them people that.
Nobody could. Yeah. And I knew as soon as she said that, I was like, oh, they're gonna blame her for everything. Here we go. You know? Yeah. But like, it just, like, the things people are saying just didn't happen in the movie. And I understand, like, where a lot of the hot and tender feelings are coming from. Because of course there's been lots of, like we were talking about before, lots of fighting, frustrations, prejudice, bigotry between the Asian community and the Black American community. Like I was talking before, Rodney King, we all know how that started off.
Yeah.
In the riots and stuff.
Right.
But it's just not what happened in the movie. It's just not what happened in the movie.
Yeah.
No, she was she was accepted amongst us. Not only was she accepted amongst us,
the family was.
Yeah, the family was, and that would have been anyone who was worried about their again, like you said, Maria. Nobody in there had living children. That would have been anyone with a living child. If you would have told them what that man told her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you would have been thinking about that more than anything else in the world, because at that point,
you lost your husband.
Your adrenaline, your mother instinct, everything would have just been like, okay, well, we just about to kill him right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not trying to waste another second or nothing, because that's pretty much what they was doing, was wasting seconds, and she's just like, it's go time. It's not a drill. You know what I mean?
Like, we got to get this done. She was ready to make, she was making Molotov bottles. Like, she like, in her mind, she like, we got this witch bitch in here, and then we got wood. Like, we can do this, y'all.
Yeah.
Right. So,
yeah. So
now,
I just like, even imagine if she had said, okay, they threatened my daughter, but I don't care about that. If she hadn't, people would be like, she's such a bad mom. So I'm just like, I don't.
Right.
What was the right choice for her to make here?
Right. And then people would have been mad at her about that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So people just gonna be mad at Grace, period. They're not giving Grace.
Right.
Now what are our thoughts on Delroy Lindo, his character?
Oh, I've always been a big old fan of Delroy Lindo for a long time.
Same.
Even
my mama was like, "Is that?" I was like, "Delroy Lindo." Yeah. So yeah, everybody loves. Look, everybody loves Delroy.
They do with good reason.
Yeah.
Loved his character. Just, just excellent actor. Incredible. Just embodies.
Delroy is a real vampire.
He was that too. Yeah. That was probably the only scene in the movie that scared me, is when they're in the car and they pass by the folks who are on working
the chain gang.
Yeah. And he starts talking about him and his friend Rice and how they were, got arrested and basically were enslaved out to play blues and stuff, and what happened to his friend. And you can, instead of like showing you, like, because most movies would just show you as he's talking about it, they don't show you this. You just hear a soundscape. You hear conflict. You hear the prison. You hear, all these things. And then it just kind of becomes this sound that's just kind of like rising up, kind of like a tsunami wave, just like pulling back. And it's just building this tension. He starts, you can see it in his acting, like how he's like really reliving these moments. And right before it feels like it's really about to get too much and like that wave is about to crash and everybody's going to drown, he starts humming. He starts singing. He starts stomping his foot and playing the blues.
Yeah.
And I thought it was such a great way to demonstrate what the blues is, what it can do and stuff like that. But then also, you still feel what he's feeling in that moment without having to necessarily see the trauma yourself.
Yeah.
Which I like, because I honestly get so tired of seeing. I don't like hanging scenes, honestly. I don't, and then we're already in 1932 Mississippi. We're already involving the KKK. It's fine. We don't really have to see it, I don't think.
Yeah. But that's a testament to his acting as well.
Yeah. And apparently it was improv. A part of that was improv.
Really?
So like, because when Stack turns to Sammy, is like, "You got the guitar, don't you?" It's because the actor was so stunned because he had kind of gone off script at some point.
Right, he didn't know what to do. He was in awe in what that man just said to him.
Yeah.
So that's why he was like, "Play the guitar. Come on."
Right.
I seen that interview.
Come back. Right. Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So that was the thing. It was, for me, I'm on your type of time too, because I was like, I didn't want to see the visual, but just to watch his mannerisms of how much pain that was, and and to talk about it, because again, it is 1932 Mississippi. Like, he really had to let them know, like, actually what happened. Like they hung that boy. You know they castrated, took that man's manhood. Like that was like crazy. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, to even watch a man recant that, it looked like it was real.
Mm-hmm.
There was back when we were in college, there was this exhibit going around called No Sanctuary. And it was all about like lynching in the US and the history of that and like how it was treated and stuff. And they talked about, of course, they would dismember people and keep them as souvenirs.
Mm-hmm.
How they would send pictures of lynchings as postcards, like a happy family picnic time.
Yep.
And stuff like that. While places around the world were like horrified.
Right.
But yeah, and I remember so many people, particularly white people, who were like, I had no idea this ever happened. And I just was so mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a lie.
It happens a lot. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's a lie. Like, you know what I'm saying? I always I just don't understand when white people say stuff like that, especially when white people act like, well, my people wasn't a part of slaves. Like, your cousins, your great uncles, all of them motherfuckers were a part of slavery, and you know it. If you saying my people are from a certain part of the South or the South period, then yeah, you know it was that shit popping.
Did you benefit from a system of oppression and do nothing to stop it?
Yeah, you benefited. Like, they look at it like, okay, well, my family didn't own slaves. Okay, but you benefited from the slave trade.
Yeah.
And so, but there are people that honestly, their lives do not consist of talking about this, thinking about this, anything like this. And I mean, some, in a way, it's kind of envious to live your life and not have to think about that. You know what I'm saying? Because that takes a lot. It takes a lot out of
stress.
Yeah, like for real. So, there are people that honestly don't know,
which is crazy to me.
Yeah,
I'm like, what have you been anyway?
I mean,
but they have that luxury not to know.
Right.
Like, we don't have that luxury not to know. You know what I mean?
And they shouldn't either. Anyway.
Well,
again, I'm with you. Like, because ignorant is bliss, but ignorance also begots ill will, and that, know what I'm saying? That's when, as much as you try to play ignorant about something, you will do it just because of who you are descended from. So you will act like that, but you will put the same type of motion in front of people. You know what I'm saying? This is why DEI and shit like that is so important. It's because people will be like, yeah, I don't know nothing about that. My people never owned slaves. Yeah, your mother and father never did, but your great uncle did. And you know that, and you've been pushing that same agenda unbeknownst to you. Subconsciously, you've been pushing that agenda, and that shit pushes towards you. If you were a football player and you were a linebacker, and this black linebacker was better than you, you automatically have a reason to want to oppress him.
Yeah.
And you never had to be a part of a family that owned slaves. And that's not necessarily a thing you need to be a part of. Like, it doesn't matter if they did or didn't. Because you know who didn't own slaves? Caroline Bryant.
Yeah, who's that?
She's the one who accused Till.
Oh,
yeah. I was about to say, yeah.
You know
what? You are a fun fact lady.
Oh yeah, I like facts.
Fun fact lady.
Caroline Bryant didn't own slaves. She still got somebody killed.
Yeah.
You don't have to have owned slaves to have benefited from the system. Like, for instance, there was an article that came out this week actually talking about how in DeKalb County they're gonna like look into just study a case for reparations, not necessarily like start giving reparations or anything, just looking, right? And I had commented like, oh, this is really interesting. I have documentation showing my family was sold in Louisiana, blah blah. I wonder what they'll find. I'll be interested to know what they find. That's all I said. people immediately started saying that I wanted something for free. Oh, well, no, oh, you're a 200-year-old slave. Oh, because that could be the only reason I could be interested in reparations is because I must be slave. And if I'm not, then there's no reason for me to worry about reparations because it's a victim complex. All I said was that I was curious about what they would find.
Yeah.
I don't want to intervene, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to act like I know what that's about, but I will say when I discovered that my mother was from the Morel tribe, and the Morel plantation, when I said that, I had a lot of people telling me that I just wanted to be a $5 Indian, and I was like, no, that's white people. Like, that's what white people do.
A $5 Indian? I've never heard of that.
Okay, so $5 Indian. So when a lot of things were getting passed as far as the Americas, white people, in order to acquire land, were paying $5 to say that they had Indian descendant and they were able to purchase land.
Yeah. Okay.
So when I found out where my mother came from, and I showed everybody like the documentary on PBS and all that, I had people telling me I wanted to be a $5 slave. And I was like, I've never asked for, a $5 Indian. I was like, I've never asked for no fucking land.
Yeah. Yeah, they just automatically go to the worst.
Yeah. There's this black person in their head that they think they know. And they just assume everybody is this. And it was like, I never, like you're saying, Lily, like we never mentioned money or property or anything.
No, I was just saying where I came from. My mother's a descendant of one of the last people that left slavery. I never asked for anything. I never said that because my mother's last or maiden name is Morel, we should be owning such and such and such and such.
Yeah. Yeah.
But and also another thing you'll find in comments on conversations about reparations a lot is white people saying, oh, well, I'm percent black, so do I get something? Right back to that $5 thing you talking about.
Right. Right.
So anyway, back to sinners.
Right, back to sinners. All right. But I mean, you can definitely go down rabbit holes on a lot of things, on a lot of concepts that this movie brought up, and you can have hours long conversations.
Yeah. What we're doing right now.
Yeah. Right. Right. Because we're pushing 2 hours. But yeah. As far as Delroy Lindo character, yeah. I also like the scene where he's, talking about what he went through with that other guy, because it explained the reason why he was a drunk. And you know what? Cheers, because you made it through and you're at your age and you're still here. So if drinking is what's gonna get you through the day, then by all means, you know what I'm saying? So, but I also appreciated him because he just met them people and he was like, I got your back, just straight up. You ain't got to worry. And then he sacrificed himself for them.
He says specifically to Sammy, that he will protect him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were after Sammy. And
well, I mean, before, he says this at the train station or in the car or something like that. But like before anything happens at night,
in
that's
the
what
car. Yeah, he reiterated right before they came in. But he did.
And I think.
And there's a lot of like you were saying, like we were saying before, how it's cyclical. So there's like that there as well. Because that's exactly what he does. He pushes them all upstairs and cuts his arm open to protect them.
Yep. So,
for me, I looked at that. I was like, it was because of what he couldn't do because he's already been through, wasn't vampires, but he's already been through this type of lynching, basically. And he was like, I'm not going to let that happen again to nobody.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, another reason why they gave him that opportunity to tell that story, because it totally makes sense why he would be the one to do that, you know, because he couldn't save his friend, you know, and he's not gonna let that happen again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, go ahead. My bad.
No, I was just saying absolutely. And then out of the two, you know, both of them were the ones that played the blues. So he's already old. So yeah, I'ma definitely save you because you got to continue on and play the blues. You know,
which is something Buddy Guy, who plays Sammy when he's older, talks about. You know, some of the other jazz greats that he was working with who have passed away, who had told him, "You have to keep the blues alive."
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you can't let it be stolen.
No.
Yep. So
the music in the movie,
yes,
it's fantastic. Fantastic. Miles Catton, this is his first role in a movie, in anything. Who plays Sammy?
Okay.
This is his first role. Period.
So where is he from?
I don't know exactly where he's from, but his mom is a gospel singer.
Okay.
And I just saw a clip today from him when he was like 8 or something on some show about like kids who are talented, kind of like an America's Got Talent, but maybe just children or something. Those kinds of shows. And he's on there singing some gospel, and he's incredible. He's so good.
Yeah.
So
he
had to learn how to play guitar for this movie. He didn't know how to play guitar.
Okay, that was my next question. Okay.
That's fly.
Yeah.
He'd been background vocals for her for a few years. And she was the one who got him to audition for this role.
Oh, wow.
Shout out to her.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. Especially because this being his first role, and it's pretty much a lead, and they took a chance on him, and it worked. Yeah, because especially with a movie with that big of a budget, you don't see too many first-time actors taking on a role like that, or the production allowing that to happen.
Well, I'm not too surprised they would have allowed it in this case, because you have so many seasoned actors around, and the advertising is really more about Michael B. Jordan than Sammy, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of people probably go in thinking Michael B. Jordan's character is going to be the main characters, and they're not the protagonists.
Yeah.
That's Sammy.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I enjoyed all the music in the film. I thought it was so excellent.
Yeah.
They also kind of like do kind of progression with the sound, right? Because it kind of just starts off very much just that guitar blues in person, and like apparently they did play this music live while they were recording, which makes a big difference. I love that. But like it kind of goes from that, juke joint sound, and then we have Sammy's first performance, and we start getting more elements of different music and like future sounds of music. Like you have that guy who looks like he's George Clinton or something,
Yeah, I was thinking Bootsy Collins.
Yeah. You get into hearing like some West Side, you get into hearing some crunk, you like all that stuff, and then you also start hearing more like electric guitar.
Yeah.
After that point. Even when the 3 vamps came up and started singing Pick Poor Robin Clean, I was like, okay, so this is the wrong song choice, but they have the skills. Like, the voices are good, the playing is good, but this song choice is not it, baby.
It was like, this is not, even if y'all were legit, this is not gonna get you in. Like,
that would have made me shoot those 3 white people right then and there.
Right, because you're trying it. Now you're playing in my face.
Now you playing with me, like, so you just gonna pick Poor Robin Clean like that? You gonna do that right in my face? I know where I live at in Mississippi.
Right,
man. I'd have shot all 3 of them people in the head.
It would have done no good.
Right.
It wouldn't have done shit, but it'll let me know. These some motherfucking different people.
And now you have 3 less bullets.
Right.
That's
and
fine.
this a whole different movie.
It would be a different movie.
But let's get this shit out the way. Because, like, nah.
Let's start now.
Let's start now.
Movie end. Maybe SAP.
Right.
Yeah, I'm weird. If anybody, if you ever meet anybody that knows me, they'll tell you, like, this little nigga is trained to go. Like that shit, pick poor Robin clean. I'd have been like, bow, bow, bow. Like, fuck, nah. Like, what we doing? These niggas just told us they gonna kill us.
Basically.
So Big Poor Robin Clean is a song about gambling, right? Where they're just fleecing this dude. But the lyrics that like really were creepy to me is part of that was the last part, and I'll be satisfied having a family. Right? And I was like, what you mean? We're recruiting?
Right. Wow. Okay. Yeah. They should have picked another song.
Yeah. I love the little like Irish jig in the woods. That was fantastic. I love some traditional Gaelic Irish music. It's got that beat, you know, the way that it sounds together. Sounds good, sounds clean. And I love kind of like the juxtaposition of that with the whole scene with Sammy. Because it's much colder, it's much darker, and like Remick is the one who's at the center, right? Yeah. Instead of kind of like this whole scene with a more communal feeling with the past and the present colliding together.
Yeah. So going back to when Sammy was doing his solo, the way that they shot that and the way that was just a one big old history lesson was so freaking dope. Yeah. So I just really loved and appreciate that, because I was just looking at this because I'm like, I know that this was 100% a conscious decision, and they knew that a whole bunch of white folks was going to be watching this, and this was just a history lesson just to let y'all know that, yeah, this comes from us, and this goes way back, and we transformed it into other things going forward. But yeah.
I think a lot about time, honestly. It's a concept. Even as a kid, I was like, what if the past is actually happening right now? You know, like all that kind of stuff. So like and then also, you know, I played clarinet for a long time. So a lot of music going on. But it's kind of like what it feels like in my head a lot, right? As far as time is concerned. And things just kind of flowing all into one, because like we're saying, the past is not past. Like my dad picked cotton. I knew my great grandmother for the first 17 years of my life, and she was born in 1912. Like, what hands did she touch? Like, the past is not past. So it was just it was like a religious experience, that scene, to me. You know,
for me, it was more it was iconic because I really loved how in the beginning how they said it, like some individuals that had this gift was able to like build that bridge between the past and the future. And they were so gifted with it. Not only did they was they able to create and show us where the future was, they also brought evil in, because evil was watching as well.
Well, evil was attracted, but they told them they could not come in. You know what I'm saying? Evil not. Because they want a party too.
So it was like, you know, it was one of those things where in the beginning of the movie I paid attention where they was like, yeah, some of us that had this gift, but they would also evil would also listen. Also, evil would be around, like, you know, and it was one of those things. So I think the whole vampire concept for me was I liked about it so much, because it was one of those things where a lot of us think we're good and we're cool where we're at, but we don't even know sometimes when we invite evil in. You know, Sammy didn't know that he was inviting evil in, even when I'll just correlation to how I told you how the beginning of the movie was the end of the movie, and then the post credits was the same thing. Sammy didn't even know he invited evil in, even though it was his cousin.
He didn't know he had that gift because he had never really performed like that before.
Yeah. Like, but
I will say that he probably had an inkling and he just ignored it because that's what his dad was telling him.
Yeah, because the whole thing, Remick and his dad are the two people, the same side of the coins. You know what I mean? Opposite side of the same coin. Because they want him to use his gift in specific ways that they want him to use his gift. Right? His dad doesn't want him to play in a juke joint. He wants him to stay in the church and to stay there.
Right.
Remick wants it for himself. Right? Because he hasn't been able to see his ancestors and stuff like that. So he thinks he can get it for himself, control it that way. And really the whole message to me, like at the post credit scene, he's saying, this little light of mine, I gotta let it shine. He has to make that decision of what he wants to do with his gift for himself. This is his gift. It's not his father's. It's not Remick's.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
It's just like I said, it was just one of those things where it was like, you know, even going back to it is like, you know, those post credit scenes where he wasn't afraid at that point. He wasn't afraid of the monsters that lure in the dark anymore, and he invited evil in. He didn't even know it, but he invited evil in.
I did also love. Let's see. Oh, of course, we have like the dark baptism, right, at the very end, and when they're in the lake. I love the look of Remick at that point. He's got those long claws and like all these teeth and like very unique vampire looking thing. I do love the whole thing with silver. That's not always something you hear of vampires. A lot other things you might hear of vampires would be like they can't go over water. So very interesting that they're like in this water right here. Just like different vampire lures I like. I do also really love, of course, he started saying when Sammy started saying the Lord's Prayer, and then Remick started saying it with him.
Yeah,
you know, because it's not the light that Sammy has. Like the truth in him is the music, not the prayer. That didn't come from you.
Yeah,
like he said, I know those words. The men who came and stole my land.
Exactly.
Made me say the. So that's not gonna work here. And like the second time I saw the movie, when it gets to that point, he starts saying, and Sammy started saying the Lord's Prayer. Somebody in the audience was like, "Whoa!" Like I was like, "Girl, I don't think so."
Right.
Yeah. So I really liked that.
With Remy, I was just like, yeah. That's why I keep saying like he's a villain, but he's a villain because he was victimized. You know what I'm saying? It was like the reason why he was that way is because someone did something to him and he was hell bent on revenge after that. And it was because he lost his whole family, so his whole thing was to steal yours.
Well, he wanted to see him again, so he needs his gift specifically. But then he's also going to grow the numbers for sure.
He's gonna grow numbers. He's gonna steal yours. He's gonna steal your family.
I've had people say like, oh, that they believed Remick, that they believed he was only after Sammy and he wasn't gonna go after anybody else.
Oh no.
He was killing everybody.
He was killing everybody.
They were like, yeah. I was like, I'm worried for you.
Right. Like, why did he build a whole army if that's the only thing that he wanted?
I mean, case in point, if he stole Sammy, like if they gave him Sammy, you think Sammy would have just walked away with Remy and the moonlight? No, fuck no.
Right.
Sammy would have took everybody out of that motherfucker.
Yeah, that was a trick. That was a trick that he was trying.
I'm very worried for your survival skills if you think Remick was telling the truth.
Right. There's no way.
And it's funny because these would be the same people who are super mad at Grace. And I'm like, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. But then Sammy was going to sacrifice himself. That's the thing.
And they wouldn't let him.
Yep. They wouldn't let him. Yep. On top of everything else, he lying. Like,
right. Come on.
Not only is he lying, we can't lose Sammy.
Yeah. So
we can't lose Sammy. All right. So can we get to the mojo pack that man that Smoke had on his motherfucking neck?
Yeah, and protected him.
It protected him.
Oh yeah.
Like, and she said it. She was like, when he was talking about how he survived the war, and she said, "How you think you survived it?"
Mm-hmm.
She said, "How you know I wasn't praying every day that you were gone?"
You know, and that's something for me because my mother used to say that shit all the time to me. Like, when I was growing up, out of all the bullshit I went through, my mother used to be like, "You know, I pray for you every night."
My grandma did too.
You know what I'm saying? Like everything, like anything I went through, from shootouts to anything, my mother used to always be like, "You know, I pray for you. Like, I'm sorry for your friend, but you know, I prayed that you didn't know what I'm saying, that you made it home."
Mm-hmm.
Like, so when she said that, like, and then she said, "Give it to me," and she prayed over it again, and it was so potent that he couldn't get bit.
Yeah.
At first I thought it was the garlic because it made me think, ugh, like the way he reacted, it was like, ugh, you been eating garlic? You know?
Right.
Well, it was the mojo. It was the mojo.
Because he believed in Annie. He believed in Annie.
Yeah. And so that's what I told Jasmine, because Jasmine was like, well, because he's a believer. I said, nah, he didn't believe in shit, but he believed in her. And because he believed in her, that's what made that mojo work. Because he didn't believe in he didn't believe in nothing that she was doing. He just believed in her.
And that's all he needed.
And I love like the kind of distortion when she's kind of talking, that kind of this indication of power kind of thing. When they're in the shack, and she's like, when she's talking about, how do you know I didn't pray? And it kind of distorts when she's saying that. You kind of hear this trembling. Love that.
Yeah.
I love that she's such a part of the community too. We get to see that, which of course we don't get to see with Mary, but of course, why would we? She's not living there anymore.
Right.
I like that a lot. A lot of people were saying that she and Smoke are wearing Haint Blue, but that's not Haint Blue. Haint Blue is much lighter, very specific blue color.
But what would be the significance of it if they were or weren't?
Oh, well, Haint Blue you typically see in cities that are around water. So you'll see it in New Orleans and Savannah and stuff like that. And the idea is that it is the blue of the water, or the sky. People say that, but it's the blue of the water, to confuse spirits, to keep them out of your house.
Oh, okay.
And so you'll find that in those places, and you might find it in places where the slaves were gathering indigo and stuff like that. So like maybe in the Carolinas as well, because you also have like the blue spirit bottles on trees and stuff like that.
Okay, gotcha.
Look up what Haint Blue looks like.
Yeah, right. Because I never heard of Haint Blue.
Yeah, so very specific. The blue they're wearing is a deeper, almost navy, closer to Yemaya blue. So that could be that, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
You said what blue now? Like Yemaya blue?
I think I'm saying it correctly. YMAYA.
I've never heard of that blue either.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about blues. I know
Nipsey Blue.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know anything about blues. I don't know about Nipsey Blue or Blue Ivy or none of that shit.
Yeah, it's a specific blue, but it's usually much lighter than what they're wearing.
Yeah. Well, we know about Royals.
Yeah.
You know, we know about Royal Blue, but that's because
right. You will never be a royal. Right. Shout out to the town.
Shout out to the town. But yeah, I've never it's so funny that you even mentioned that just because of the significance between Smoke and Stack with the red and the blue.
I know they were gang banging.
Nah, you know, most people would do that. But it wouldn't it was solidifying how different they were.
Yeah. You know, gang banging.
You know,
smoking and smoke.
Coding of the couples as well and all that kind of stuff, and how they're reflections of each other. And
yeah.
And I was thinking that they were parts of their dad.
Could be. I mean, they are his sons. So.
Yeah.
I also find it interesting that Stack lied to Sammy about the origins of the guitar.
Yeah, he did.
Because he wanted him to feel like he had something of importance.
Not only that, but he considered their father such an evil man.
Yeah.
That when they were finally able to escape, other people didn't want to deal with them because they were like, your dad was so evil. I'm sure y'all got some of that too. Lily, you good?
Yeah, I'm sitting up messing with Jasmine.
So I'm sure if Sammy's father had known that guitar had come from their father, he absolutely would not have let him have it.
Yeah.
Because why is Sammy's dad getting his guitar early in the morning and taking it to church?
Yeah. Yeah, but he probably wouldn't have even wanted to play it if he knew it came from his uncle.
Might have been that too. Yeah.
Yeah, he probably wouldn't have wanted, just because of what he known about his father. His uncle. And then the origin behind that, because the boys murdered their dad.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He only knew a little bit because he was too young to know a lot when it was happening. So the little bit that he did know, he probably would have been like, hell no, I don't want that. They got that bad mojo. No ma'am.
But it just shows, like, because it just shows, even though the origins may not have been that great, it can turn into something great.
Yep.
It can become that instrument of protection.
Yeah.
He uses it as, even though it originates from somewhere not good.
Right. It looked like it was a dope guitar at that.
It does, right? Gorgeous.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah. And that's the guitar he uses to let his light shine. That's the guitar he uses to help dispatch Remick and like.
Yeah. And how did you?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
But how did you take it when he did go back to the church that morning and he still was holding on to the stem of it?
He wasn't going to let it go.
Yeah.
He made his decision. He already knew. And as his father keeps his dad doesn't even ask him, "Are you okay?"
Well, yeah, he didn't.
Your son comes in covered in blood.
Yeah.
You don't even ask, "Are you okay?"
Scrapes across his face and everything.
You're worried about the guitar and the music.
Yeah. I took that as he assumed that something happened, but he was okay enough to be there. So that's probably the reason why he didn't.
No.
Which, I could totally be wrong, but when I saw it, that's what I took it as.
It's just strange.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that to be your first reaction. You know what I'm saying?
Church would have stopped. Like if I was there and I was the father and I saw my kid, church would have stopped at that moment because
his mom jumps up to go to him and he tells her to sit down.
Yeah. So, but when we saw that scene at the beginning, him coming in and the mom yelling his name and then the father stopped her, I took that as he was like something was wrong with him and they knew it. You know what I mean? Like he shouldn't be there.
Oh yeah. Well,
Yeah. Like maybe, but I didn't know it was a vampire movie in the beginning,
at that point.
Right. But I took it as like he ain't supposed to be there. He's gonna wreak havoc on this church. But the father was trying to help him, So then watching it again after everything transpired, I'm like, okay, well, that's not the case because it's a vampire movie and obviously he's here in the daylight. But yeah, seeing that scene completely play out at the end, it was a totally different take. So yeah, I thought that was pretty cool, and I'm so happy that I did not know that much about the movie going in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
I really love that we get 2 dark-skinned romantic interests. Pearline.
Yeah.
Pearline, as much as she was a great romantic interest. Can we just be honest? Can all three of us be honest and say Pearline was shit?
Stop.
Pearline was shit. Pearline had a husband and kids at home.
Yes,
the movie's called Sinners.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, Pearline was a superior sinner, top tier, chef's kiss.
Now, just to go a little left from that, I was under the impression for a really long periodically time that they weren't doing oral sex back then. So the fact that they were emphasizing that in this movie, like from the talking about it, then the actual act of it, that took me. And I was taken aback by that. And on top of that, I'm watching this with my mom. So it was a little awkward.
Yeah.
Okay, eating pussy has been created since fucking been created.
The dawn of time.
I get that. But y'all ain't never heard that like the old men didn't do that back. Like
that's a lie, girl. No.
So Lindsay, I agree with you because I was raised and the whole thing of they don't like nobody, did condoleezza. Like, that was something that white boys did.
Yeah. Now,
like, I was raised in that culture.
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, like, I was raised in the era of DJ Quick. DJ Quick said, "Don't eat the pussy." He made a song about it.
Yeah.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah.
So
but seriously, like it wasn't a thing until like for real.
It was a thing. No,
I'm saying like to be talking about it and it be like culturally accepted to be.
I'm sorry.
Our culture was hidden.
We are talking. Hold on. We are talking 1932. Okay.
Yeah.
Have we not heard "Shave 'Em Dry"?
We just now heard "Shave 'Em Dry." Don't act like we heard that shit in 1992. We just heard "Shave 'Em Dry" in 2021.
But I've heard it many, many years ago.
I didn't hear it in 1992.
You were privileged because I didn't hear it in the 90s.
I didn't say anybody did. I just said I heard it years ago.
So I get what Lindsay is saying.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure everybody's heard "Shave 'Em Dry." If you haven't heard "Shave 'Em Dry," you need to go on YouTube and look it up and listen to it right now. If you think, oh boy, you think WAP is a sign inappropriate? Oh, please.
Yeah, I mean, I know that they were. I know that they were vulgar back then. There are a whole lot of vulgar songs back then. I'm just saying, because we have been hearing for a while that old men, that ain't something that they do.
Oh, that's not something I ever heard. I never heard that.
Yeah, I mean, okay, well, you was lucky. I'm just gonna, me, I don't have to lie. I'm definitely not gonna lie on the interwebs. Listen, I'm with Lindsay. Like, yeah, it was one of those things where it was not spoken about. when we were growing up, like that was something that black dudes did.
I mean, downtown.
Yes, there was a song called Downtown.
You gotta go downtown. Again, you saying that, I always say, okay, and DJ Quick at the same time gave you a song called Don't Eat the Pussy.
I don't know DJ Quick like that, so I can't say.
And
I knew downtown like that though. So I don't know.
I literally thought that they were talking about going downtown. And I used to sing that song
because we were children.
Yeah.
We were children, of course.
Right.
That's the way to my love. You gotta go round and round downtown.
Hey, I was
Maria. It was at not one point when you were singing that song, you was like, "Oh, he gonna eat this." But you were fucking
downtown.
I thought it
wasn't about the city center.
Now, saying that,
then I knew they were not talking about no city center. Please,
I was
saying that.
I thought we were going downtown.
But saying that, I will say this. When I was a kid, when downtown was a popular thing, I had a science teacher named Mr. Wolf, and Mr. Wolf used to play a old white version of Downtown, and he would mix these two together. If y'all, I don't remember the lady's name, but it's like,
oh, that's a different song, right?
Now they're literally talking about downtown.
That one is about the city center.
He used to mix those two together.
Yeah,
that one's
actually used to mix them together.
Yeah,
but yeah, she's really talking about going downtown.
Yeah, so
and
like I never like so
still thinking we're talking about downtown.
So what I'm saying is, hey, I never even thought about that shit until I got older about what they were talking about, because my science teacher would mix the two together. Oh. And so I never even had the time to even think about what SWV was talking about.
Yeah, no, I had known that the other downtown song you were talking about, downtown things will be great. So I knew that song. So when the SWV song came out, I was like, they are not talking about the same thing.
Hey.
This is not the same.
Yeah, you were better than me.
I was 8. So.
You were better than I was about to say, because my people
like physically what we're doing, but I was like, this is not about the city center. This is about
hey, you really love downtown to make a whole song about it. Like the here you go.
This is not a song about commuting.
So Michael W is watching. He says, "Good evening, everyone."
Hey, Mike.
And he says, "Wait a minute. There's some blues records in the 1920s and 1930s that were overtly sexual AF. Yes, there are. There definitely are.
Nobody's denying that, but we wasn't born in those times to even know them.
Yeah, I didn't hear those songs till I was an adult.
I don't know. You never heard "Don't Mess with My Tutu"?
I didn't hear it till I was an adult.
Oh, I was a kid.
When you keep saying this shit, I'm like,
okay. To be fair, my grandfather really loved jazz and blues, so we listened to a lot of jazz and blues. So
yeah,
I've heard a lot of things.
Yeah, the only blues we got was Saturday evening on the radio with Whitehead Mike as the MC.
Mike.
Blues and all that jazz. That was the only time they played it. So
no,
so we would hear some stuff. We would definitely hear some stuff, and we would laugh. But yeah, my mama wasn't playing it. My grandma played gospel music. She wasn't playing nothing else. So yeah,
be fair. I grew up a Jehovah's Witness, so I wouldn't listen to any secular music when I was at the house at all.
No.
Yeah.
So every song I heard was when I got outside of the house.
Yeah.
We missed that wave.
Like he was super. Like his license plate said "Into Jazz." Like very.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So you definitely got your history lesson.
Yeah.
Wish my uncle was a Muslim, so I used to listen to a lot of jazz at his house, and that was the first time I heard Rap Dirty. So if you ever heard of Rap Dirty, that was like one of the first rap songs before rap was quote unquote 50 years of hip hop, rap dirty was invented way before that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. So, but yeah.
All right. Is there anything else in the movie that we have not covered that you would like to talk about?
Yeah.
Nah, because I was gonna talk about him eating Perline's pussy after walking all the way to the juke joint.
Ryan Coogler
But
said
we just went through this whole section of we went from nobody knew about this to shit. It was some crazy shit.
It was some crazy stuff.
And they made a point to be like, okay, you don't do that because I'm not fresh, and he wanted to do it anyway.
Hey,
he said that don't matter.
That man this man has a deep voice already, but that man's voice got super deep when he was like, I just want to taste you. I was like, nigga.
He said that's a little seasoning. Okay.
That was wild. That was this motherfucker been walking in Mississippi mud dirt.
And she wasn't trying to hide it.
Okay.
I love Mississippi. I've been to Mississippi. I love going to Mississippi. They have clay dirt. This bitch had clay dirt pussy.
Yeah. Oh Lord. Okay.
And he ate that.
He said, "That's just a little seasoning. Slide down to the end of this table."
I'm gonna tell you about. But okay, so I'm gonna tell you what y'all need to be mindful for. If y'all think that y'all gonna do that right now in Mississippi, I'm gonna tell you right now. You know what clay dirt is a harbor of fire fucking ants. So, and I'm just gonna say that there because don't end up with some burning shit.
All right.
Oh no.
I mean, it's 1932. What are you gonna
do? Don't make no excuse. God damn it.
I'm just saying, it's not like testing is available.
Man, I'm just saying.
The Tuskegee experiment is probably happening right now.
It's definitely happening right now. That's what I'm telling my people that are listening or in Mississippi. Y'all know. What y'all have prominent is fire ants, and that's just in the clay dirt. It's gonna be very different in that vagina, my nigga.
Oh my God. He lived and named his club after her, so it must have been good. That's all.
Yeah, it made him a man. So
that one night he was like forever. Like,
right. I guess they don't really love you if they don't eat it. If they don't eat it raw.
Wow.
I just don't love nobody then, because you gotta jump it out. You gotta jump in the shower.
Never experience love if you don't eat it raw.
Oh my God.
Listen, you can't walk around the block and don't watch that thing out.
She offered, man. He said no.
Oh, jeez.
That nigga had to cool it. I just want to taste it. Like, God damn, nigga.
Ain't like she couldn't go
fucking it up for the rest of us, nigga.
She couldn't go wrench around and wrench it off. Like, oh man. So yeah.
They do wipe that motherfucker.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the post credit scene.
Mid credit or post credit?
Post credit. Oh, mid credit. Sorry, it was the mid credit. The mid credit scene. So, do y'all have any thoughts about that? I love seeing Buddy Guy though.
Yeah, let's see Buddy Guy.
Really cool. Yeah.
The way they dress Stack and Mary, impeccable.
Yeah.
Impeccable. Loved everything about it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. For some reason it made me want to see them do an X-Men movie. I don't know. But when she walked in and the bartender saw her teeth, he pulled the color purple piano man.
Right. This is my cue.
That's your smart white representation in this movie, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, he's there. I don't know which one.
Right. You get one. You get one. So,
really thought that was fly.
One of the things that I really liked about that scene is when they're talking about that night, and then he was like, and Buddy says, before everything went down, that was like the best night of my life. He's like, was it like that for you too? And so Stat confirms it was, because of the last time he was with his brother, it was the last time he got to see the sunrise and all this stuff. So it just goes back to, all the things they were trying to tempt him with before, and how all that just wasn't true, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I really appreciated that scene, and knowing that because we did not see the twin kill the other one. So knowing that he was still alive and how he made him promise not to do anything to him, like, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Because at the end of the day, even though your brother is not there anymore, this is a total vampire, and he does need to be eradicated. You still couldn't do it. Yeah. So, yeah.
I mean, it was one of those things where he killed his daddy for his brother.
Yeah.
So his whole life was making sure that my brother was okay. He could not do that. And so, like, even in that scene when he was gonna kill him and he told him he was sorry, and he was like, for what? You protected me my whole life. Like that. He did. I can see how he could not kill his brother.
Yeah.
Like, as much as everybody want to be like, yeah, that's not your brother anymore. That's your brother. That's just your brother with no motherfucking resolve anymore. It's still your brother. It's just a different version of it.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So I can see him saying, just don't fuck with Sammy.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with Sammy, man. Go on, get the fuck out of here. Leave Sammy alone.
He actually cared to not.
Yeah.
And I think especially after Remick was gone, they were kind of like not on his same mission, because they all seemed to kind of be following his orders. You know what I mean? It seemed to be kind of under maybe some kind of thrall or something.
Yeah, and so, because that was the thing, and she said it. She said, even if the maker is dead, they still live on.
Well, yeah, because
they just don't have the same agenda that the maker has anymore.
Right. In some stories, if you kill the maker, they kill them all. You kill them all on. But it seemed more like they were like, it's a hive mind, but he's controlling.
Yeah. So once you take that away, then they're back to reverting to how they originally think. They're just now their soul is literally just trapped here.
Yeah. Yeah. And I just really like their conversation.
Stack and Buddy.
Yeah. Stack and Sammy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was like,
he even asked him if he wanted him to convert him, and he was like, no, I think I'm done.
Because he was like, it ain't too long. Know what I'm saying? It ain't gonna be too long now, because he can smell it. He smelled the death upon it because he was older.
Yeah. I mean, he's 80 something, of course. Like,
yeah,
you're not telling him something he don't already know. Like,
right. Right.
And he's just like, he's cool with that. Like, and know what I'm saying? That's one of those things where it's like, like, he actually wanted he wanted his soul to be free. And it's, you know what I'm saying? It was, as much as Remy was trying to lock him in, his daddy was trying to lock him in, let my soul actually be free.
Yep. And then also with him telling him that he still has nightmares weekly. Yeah. So, yeah, he's done. He's like, I'm done here.
Even if I wasn't, this is probably not the choice I would make anyway, because of how traumatized I am by y'all. So.
Right. I'm good. But thanks for the offer.
Right.
Nigga, you fucking bit my first piece of pussy. I love you, cuz.
Lord have mercy.
You got my first piece of pussy bet.
I cannot. But yes. So yeah, that was Sinners. So yeah, yeah, I have any final thoughts about the movie?
Person y'all have on y'all podcast, and I'm not ashamed of this.
You said what again?
I said I'm probably the most vulgar person y'all have on y'all podcast, and I'm not ashamed of this.
Probably, yeah. But yeah, do y'all have any final thoughts about the movie?
I do not have any final thoughts, although I did find out that this is something that Ryan Coogler has been working on for a long time, and he actually has a universe for it, and I am here for that.
Yeah, I saw a couple people asking him about that, and he's been kind of coy about it. So I'm like, okay, he's playing coy, so this is probably more than likely going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I would love for it to. I wouldn't, but if it doesn't, I'm also fine. Like, this is great.
Yeah, I'm fine either way.
Yeah, I love. One of the things that pisses me off about a lot of movies is you could do a thing and do it well, and you just chose not to. Right? Particularly when it comes to like representations of maybe like Native American people.
Mm-hmm.
And you hired a white person or somebody who's not Native.
Mm-hmm.
And then you named a specific group, but you didn't actually follow their traditions.
Yeah.
You could have. There was nothing stopping you from doing it correctly.
Mm-hmm. Just chose not to.
You just chose not to. But at every step, he chooses to do it and to do it well and right and respectfully and to involve the actual people. It is not hard.
No. Not at all.
So I don't want to hear any more excuses from any other filmmakers about, oh, we couldn't find the actor. Yes, you could. That actor exists.
Mm-hmm. You could have found him for cheap.
Oh, we couldn't find the consultant. They found a consultant for Toy Sunnies. Please.
Right. So it's just you got to put forth the effort. Like they're just being lazy and not caring enough.
Yeah.
You know. Just got to put forth and it's not even a lot of effort. You just got to put forth a little effort, you know, to do it right.
Just effort. Effort. You just have to do.
Yeah. Or you just have to care to do it. Because some people just don't give a damn.
And right. But then they want to talk about it later. Like, it's not a big deal. Tim Burton, I hate you.
God damn. I'm out. Like, you was talking about, hold on. You're getting on the racial level. Like, you're being a little racist.
He's a racist. So I'll go back.
That's a whole another hour or so.
Okay.
That's somewhere.
But Coogler shows this kind of care and concern throughout all of his movies.
Yeah.
You know? Even thinking back to like Wakanda Forever and talking about Talokan and like actually going to people who speak these indigenous languages, like getting that right, just trying to get things right, you know, and it actually being inclusive of people. One of the other things, like when we're talking about that music scene where Sammy's doing his solo and we see all the ancestors and stuff, we see Bo and Grace's ancestors as well.
Yes.
Right? And so the actor who plays Bo, he said they came to him and asked him who would he want to see in that situation. Which, wow, okay, great. But he picked a specific monkey god because lots of different Asian cultures have this monkey god, right? And he wanted to be inclusive of all those different cultures as well. Something they share.
Right.
And they said, "You got it."
Yeah, that was pretty thoughtful.
They didn't have to do that.
They didn't.
They didn't have to
that
ask
had nothing to do
they
with
didn't have to
Asians.
say yes.
Right, because that scene really didn't have nothing to do with Asians. But the fact that they were thoughtful enough to go to him, and he was thoughtful enough to not think of just Chinese, but several, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. It shows a lot of care and concern and trust.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think you can really see that in their group interviews. Like, it's not just coworkers, like, just doing this together kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah,
they were rocking tough.
mm-hmm.
They were. And did y'all see that that TikTok challenge that they did with the grills?
Yeah.
No, I haven't seen that one.
Oh, it's good.
That was fly. That was fly. With the song and everything, with Mexican Ortiz on there, like that was a dope. That was dope.
Yeah. I've been wanting some old things for a long time, so I guess I'm now.
Yeah, they making you want some for real.
You know, Lindsay already knows if we ever got money, what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, we talked about this actually.
Yeah,
we talked about this before.
Yeah, it's gonna be real.
Off topic, Shabuzi at the Met Gala, he had like these turquoise beads on, but also he had turquoise grill.
Yeah, I saw that.
Fucking dope.
Love that. A couple of people had grills. For grills.
And what's her name? The actress Taraji.
Yep, she did too. Yep,
she had diamond on top and gold on the bottom, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But yeah.
But you know who was really mad about this?
Who was mad?
Yes.
White people.
Your favorite actor, Jonathan Majors.
He was mad.
No, I'm joking, but he would be mad. He has a wardrobe for this movie at home.
Right. He would have fit right, and they could have saved some money.
Jonathan Majors has wardrobes for the Met Gala, all the way to fucking the documentary of fucking Emmett Till. Like, this, his clothing.
He would have just shown up.
Yeah, I mean, he could have.
He would have came in looking like a 1910s orphan, and he would have been fine with it.
Definitely, he definitely had Met Gala right on in the closet.
Oh man, I'm subject about. I just totally left. But dude, I watched that movie on Tubi that you told me to watch.
What movie?
Which one?
For John, about the Jonathan Majors story.
Oh,
no, God, Tubi. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and rate the movie.
Yeah,
movie's trash. But the man's gear, top tier.
Yeah, they definitely got the gear right.
They nailed that man's gear.
Yeah. So Michael W says, I mean, when you look at Burton's past projects and comments, is Maria completely wrong?
Not saying she's completely wrong, but you jumped on here late, and then I said some things about Asians, and she was like, stop. And she's right. I should have stopped, but I didn't.
All right. So we're going to get to the review.
I'll talk about the movie rating first.
Yes.
Yeah, I put a whole people out there, and that was wrong. Yeah. I will admit to that.
So we have our movie rating system: 1, movie real trash AF; 2, it exists; 3, entertaining; 4, great; 5, a true classic. So Lily, our guest for the evening, what say you?
Oh, off the flip, it is a true classic. I think Sinners is going to be one of those movies that will be a fan favorite and a cult classic in the future.
Okay. Maria?
True classic. Next.
Yeah. A true classic. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we can agree. Hat trick. Yay.
Yeah, right. Confetti. So first time ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah.
Me being on this show, like, this is the first time
Yeah. So Michael also says, LOL, his wardrobe is interesting.
Yes, you are correct about that.
Yeah, definitely interesting. So yeah. So that is Sinners. Yep, it's still in the theater.
Yes.
So
go see it.
Yeah, if we didn't spoil the entire hell out of it for you.
And if we did, that's fine.
Yeah, because you had been warned.
So, all of the things we said, we still it's still some shit in there that we missed.
Yes, that is true.
There's definitely things you just have to experience, and if you get the chance to go in IMAX, I would absolutely recommend it. It was filmed with IMAX cameras, and that makes a difference.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. Y'all convinced me. I'm probably gonna go see it again. And if it's I know they were talking about bringing it back because
so that's already happening. I think it may be this year, but it's only going to be in like 8 theaters across the country. So
oh wow.
Okay. I was about to say it's in IMAX here now.
It is okay.
Yeah, so I guess it started this week because they usually only stay in IMAX for 2 weeks anyway.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people were like, they're taking it out. I was like, no, it's really just a contract. It's always 2 weeks.
Yeah. Right. They don't keep it in IMAX long.
No.
Yeah. So yeah.
But I heard it might be getting a re-release in fall.
I can see that. Can y'all see it being nominated for an Oscar?
No. And the only reason why I say this is because the industry tried to trash that movie, so they're not gonna.
That's true.
They're not gonna do that.
Yes, they absolutely are gonna nominate this for a lot of things. Well, dependent on thinking about our current government situation. That's the only thing that would make me think maybe they wouldn't. Mm-hmm. But otherwise, I mean, because Coogler's been nominated before.
Yeah,
a few times.
Yeah. So, but not even necessarily because it's Coogler. I'm just thinking because it's a horror movie. You don't see too many horror movies getting recognition like that at the Oscars.
We don't see too many comic book movies getting recognition like that at the Oscars.
Well, that's true too.
Let's just see how it play out. Let's just see how it fucking play out. I just think because of the climate we're under,
that's the only
because
thing.
they were trying to scrutinize that movie anyway because they gave him a superior deal, and then they was like, "Oh shit, this is a good movie, so let's say it's trash." Like, I don't believe that. No, I think he's gonna be gypped.
Oh, that is also a racial slur, Lily.
What it is?
Yes. Now that's less well known. I don't blame you for not knowing that.
I was about to say, hands down, I did not know that was a racial slur.
Yeah, it is though. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay, my bad, America.
Ooh, child. All right.
God damn,
Now that's no, I'm playing. All right. So, Lily, where can we find you?
Shit. I don't even want to be found at this point.
Hey, we all have to learn, okay? We
God.
The world knowing, so.
Man, you can find me. Facebook, real name. Troy Hughes. Instagram, same thing. Real name, X. You can find me at BBlaze82. TikTok, you can find me on as Parker Bro Ish Talking. I'm gonna be this guy. Didn't know I was a racist. Found that out today. But I'm gonna continue to be the guy that I am. I love everybody.
Right.
But I sometimes I will say things that should be said that most people won't say. And I'm just a black guy that does it, so I'll probably get banned, but white people do it all the time and they get millions of views.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. And GoFundMe's.
There was a whole other thing from that gala, but
yeah. I did not know that was a racist term though. Like I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, I honestly, I'll tell you more about it, but like, I had no idea either, and like what it was tied to, and like why that was even like.
Yeah, I knew it was, but yeah, we'll talk about
it. I told you, 2 weeks ago, I found out calling the Irish person a potato was like calling them the N-word.
Yeah, That's just not something I would ever even think about doing. Calling anybody that.
Right. I'm not.
Wouldn't cross my mind.
Right. Like we call people like Mr. or Mrs. Potato Head, but
because of the toy.
Because of the toy. Yeah.
Somebody with red hair just coming across and hitting you in the back of the head for that shit.
Right. Like I don't be around Irish people to even think about that. So yeah. Then there's that. So Michael says, yeah, because the industry tried to undermine this movie, I fear Sinners will not get the awards that it deserves. Yeah.
Me and you on the same page, bro.
Mm-hmm. They did. I have seen like other prominent actors and directors come out and say like, why are you talking about this movie this way?
Yeah. Right. Like seriously.
I think like Tom, weird.
Tom Cruise and Ben Stiller.
Yeah, Tom Cruise and Ben Stiller, and then also another director that I like.
Yeah. So Michael says, the brother is right. There's a certain segment of society feeling some kind of way about what this move exposed in a cultural, historical, societal context.
Yeah, no, he's not wrong. See, if this had been like maybe even just last year, I would feel more confident about it.
Mm-hmm. Because 100%, I'd have been like, oh, they about to sweep the Oscar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because the success is undeniable, critically and commercially. It's literally the number 4 movie in the world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It made its money back in the second weekend.
Man.
And then some. So yeah.
And Ryan Coogler is just getting paid off of getting paid. He getting Master P numbers.
As he should be.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, how many billions did he make for Marvel? Like, please.
Dude, like this is well deserved.
He said his movie 8.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Maria, where can we find
this is mine. I'm a let it sit for a while, and it's gonna come back to me. Mm-hmm. Listen.
How much money are you going to be making it on after 25 years, studio? Like, come on.
Right.
I can be making Dove commercials in the next 25 years. You know what niggas gonna be talking about? Sinner.
Yep.
You know, I was, you know what? I just stopped myself, and y'all gonna be proud of me because I was just about to say something crazy, but I'm not. I'm gonna say, you know what?
So
Asian people are gonna be talking about.
Blue Sky. You can find me on Blue Sky. My name is Valor More Dollars. That's VALARMOR dollars. .esky.social. I'm also on another podcast called Nerdgasm Noir with 5 other Black women where we talk nerdy, geeky tech stuff. So you can come join us there. And where can they find you, Lindsay?
You can find me everywhere at L_Ranelle. That's L_RANELLE. And also on my other podcast with our guest, Lily, The Ish We Talk, where we talk about a variety of topics. And this past Friday, we talked about Mr. Smokey Robinson.
Oh, God.
Fun times. Yeah.
Smoke.
Yeah.
Drinking that wine.
Gang banging. So Michael says, in the era of MAGA and the Mango Menace, I'm just saying.
It's really unfair to Mango. Mango is the worst for anybody, okay?
Listen, we respect the government.
Do we?
And that's all I'm gonna say. At this point, anything I'm saying now is gonna be wrong. So we respect the government.
So yeah, this was episode 79 of Roomies Review the Movies, and we will see you guys for episode 80.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace out, Girl Scout.